Swagger on diamonds just Sakasha trying to pick my brain and judge me like a book. I don't got many likes, but I got a lot of looks. My picture on the news, they trying to label me a crook. They say I do too much, I say I'm off the hook. They ask me where I've been, I say I just came from the hood. Smelling loud off this good, the whole day out in Jug. These niggas wanna go to war, man, I wish they would. Oakland like Baghdad in my neck of the woods.
Rest in peace, my nigga Lil E, man.
Out the roots, he let the beats build, bitch. And we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it cheap. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No.
What's going on, man? What's going on? We live from the boxing section, man. What's going on? What's going down? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let me flip this real quick. All right. Yes, sir. Y'all see what's going on out here in these streets. Y'all see what's going on. The motherfucking quote tonight, man, did her thing. Shout out to my dog, H Money. Yes, sir. Jalen, what's going on, man? Brother, Boxing Talk, salute to you, my brother. Tone Brown, salute to you, my brother. Yes, sir. Yeah, we here, man. Salute to you, Mir. Centos, salute to you, my brother. Rob Brown, salute, brother. All right, let me get to it. Let me get to it before I do anything else. I gotta talk about this, man. Listen, Carissa Shields is a fucking dog, man. Let's get that understood real quick. Carissa Shields is a dog, bro. She was, man, her back was against the wall, man, and she put it down, man. She did her thing, man. No question about it. She's a fucking dog, bro. She's a fucking dog. Bird, man, salute to my brother. Appreciate you for sliding through, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, Tyson Fury lied to you, H Money. You know what I'm saying? He lied to you. He lied to you, H Money. But anyway, yes, man. She is a fucking beast. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Chris, man? Appreciate you for sliding through, man. Appreciate you, brother. Man, y'all make sure I hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let's get these YouTube algorithms popping. You dig what I'm saying? I'm excited, man. I'm excited for her, man, because just think, she's only been training for 8 months, no amateur background, and she came to fight tonight, man. That girl had a lot more experience than she did. That girl was a seasoned veteran. Yeah, she only had 9 fights, but that's a lot of fights for MMA. You know what I'm saying? As far as getting your feet wet. You dig what I'm saying? And man, Carissa Shields handled her business, man. When she was down, the calmness in her face, man, the smoothness in her face, man. She was ready to go. She kept going. She kept pushing forward, man. Oh, man, it was a beautiful thing to watch, man. She got the stoppage. It was amazing, man, for her pro debut, man. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for my MMA guys to come through here and talk about the different fighters that lost their first fight and things like that and where they ascended to. So just her going in there and doing her thing like that was amazing. You know what I'm saying? Very exciting, man. Very, very exciting, to say the least. You know what I'm saying? Man, we almost to 1,000, bro. 400 to go, man. Almost 400 to go, and we'll be at 1,000, man. E1K, man. Salute to my brother. Yes, sir. Man, yeah, man. She's the GOAT for sure, man. I like her transition, man. Listen, Holly Holm, she did kickboxing. So she has some other MMA experience Carissa Shields came in with no MMA experience. What's going on, Patricia Sheldon? Salute to you. No MMA experience. You know what I'm saying? And to do that tonight was amazing. Eli Zachary, what's going on, man? Salute to my brother. Oh, man. Big Texas Cletus. Salute to my brother. Man, listen, all the ticket holders is coming through. All my dogs in the chat, man, is making noise. It's a great day, man. Shout out to H Money for a hell of a live stream he put on today. We was over there kicking it, man, and JFL. Hopefully he come through here tonight so we can tell him how foolish he is for that bullshit he be talking on H Money channel. But with that being said, dog. For sure, bro. For sure. My brother, man. Appreciate you. 100% appreciate you. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I'm excited, man. I'm going to put this link in the chat, man, so y'all can come get down with your boy. And we're going to chop it up. Yeah, okay, we got you. We can still, we're gonna be talking about Clarissa Shields, whether y'all here, whether you and DB here or not, because y'all coming. You know what I'm saying? We know y'all coming, so we ain't tripping off that. This is exciting. So shout out to my boy DJ, man. Shout out to my dog Big Tank. You know what I'm saying? We here, man. We here. So the link is in the chat. If y'all want to hop in, pop in, talk y'all talk. We are here in the crib. Shout out to Patricia Sheldon. Let this nigga know something, Pat. Let this nigga know something. You know what I'm saying? Bomb squad. Let him know something. Yes, sir. Eli, man, the link is in the chat, my brother. That's fantastic. She might now that might make her want to get down. That might make her either box or do MMA, bro. So that's salute. Phil J 508. Salute to you, my brother. Yes, sir. Birdman. Yes, sir. My dog Tom Brown, man. Shy 72 and 10. Salute to my brother. Appreciate you, man. Make sure y'all subscribe. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure y'all subscribe. And also, y'all could do me a huge favor. If y'all want to support the channel, hit that Cash App, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that going. You know what I'm saying? Let's make that happen. You dig what I'm saying? For sure. So if y'all want to support the channel, like the biggest, like one of the biggest supporters of the boxing section, man. Shout out to my dog, the Birdman. You know what I'm saying? Always and forever, man. A pleasure. Let me go ahead and do that real quick. Bang. You know what I'm saying? So y'all know, man. Birdman, shout out to you, man, for all your support, bro. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate you. Yes, sir. We here. Shout out to the OG. Toast. What's going on, Toast?
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, man, nothing much, man. We here, man. Talk to us, man. Talk to us.
Man, I didn't get to see the fight. I saw the highlights. I want to say a big, huge shout out to Clarissa Shields, the GOAT. She's still winning. She's still winning. That's what we always do. Hashtag she's still winning. She's a great athlete. She's got a heart as big as the ocean, and she wasn't trying to go out without leaving it all out there on the mat, man. I appreciate her for her tenacity, man. And I think she's going to be received well in the MMA, being the fact that she has taken the time out to learn and train seriously to learn the sport of MMA fighting. And I think that the MMA supporters, as well as the folks that kind of orchestrate MMA, kind of lead the way. I think they appreciate the fact that she's done those things to really get herself ready for her first fight. And I think we all need to just show her all the love and support that she needs And big shout out to him, man. It was great. I saw the highlights. I was very impressed. I saw the post fight interview or whatever part I did see. She spoke very well, and it seemed like she spoke honestly. And I'm really happy for her, man. I can't wait to have the opportunity to go back and watch the fight in its entirety. But yeah, we got to give that sister all the love she needs, man. And I appreciate you, Cal, for providing this platform, providing us a place we can come over here and be ourselves, man. Appreciate it. And shout out to everybody in the chat and everybody that's coming to the panel. Uh-oh. I don't have a sound. What's going on?
Shit. Boston, brother Boston talk. We're definitely talking about that tonight and tomorrow. For sure, no question about it. Salute to everybody coming in. Ken Law Jones, man, what's going on, big dog? Appreciate you for sliding, man. Yeah, man, this is all good shit. Yeah, man, I was on mute.
Kyle,
I was talking this shit. Yeah.
Was my sound down? Was yours down?
That was mine. Shout out to my boy Jafar, man. Salute to my brother. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I'm excited. We got some shit coming, man. Next week, I'm getting me a laptop, so the sound is gonna be A1. I already got the microphone, so we definitely getting it cracking, getting popping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the channel is growing. We're making shit shake. Let's see where we at with it, because we're gonna switch over to the laptop. You feel me? Let me see. Enter. Yeah, we're back on that. Santos, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
All right.
Yeah, I'm like.
All right.
I kind of fell off into my own world for a second here.
That's nothing new.
Yeah, I be driving and thinking, man. Driving and thinking. Yeah, man. Does everything look straight for you for the 26th, my man? Crap.
All right, we back. We back.
Oh, there you go. Hey, does everything look good for you for the 26th?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah,
So
yeah, we'll link up, man.
salute to my dog Reggie Owens. Let's see what we got. The OG. Well, I'm about to take myself out of this, man. I got the OGs in the crib, man. Matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do.
Fellas, what's happening? What's happening?
Hey, we're gonna let the OGs rock, man. I'm gonna take myself out of this, man. The OGs is getting down tonight, man.
What's up, my brother?
Until DJ come in here, we're gonna have this for the OGs. Jafar, I don't know what the next interview is gonna be. I think I got Durham Price coming in here pretty soon. I gotta call him, but Durham Price should be coming in here pretty soon though.
Okay, cool, brother.
Hitchens. So
okay.
Shout out to Andrew Charles. Shout out to Gump 88. Salute to y'all boys for coming through here, man. Yeah, man. We're gonna let the OGs rock for a moment.
All right, what's up with you, Sento?
You got it, my brother. You know, I'm trying to knock these miles down, man, and get these things delivered, man. Truck be coming in late, bringing cargo to us, man. It kind of pissed me off, but there's nothing I can do about it. But just go with the flow, you know. And
you getting paid? You getting paid by the hour or the load?
The load.
Oh shit! Yeah, that do piss you off there.
Yeah,
you could be done early.
I like to get finished as early as possible, man. Get on, back to the city and have the possibility of getting another load. You know.
Exactly.
Money when they do this bull crap. That's why
I
was going to get this route back to them a few months ago. Then they said, "Hey, look here, man. Well, we get you another 900."
Yeah.
Okay, let me take that. I'll stick around for that.
Yeah, let me take that.
Yeah, but I got
nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. So look up. So what's up, man? So what'd you think about your girl, man? I thought she did great, man.
Clarissa, I didn't get to see the fight because I had to lay it down, but I was very impressed when the highlights that I saw. Very impressed with her. And she got the win, and I was impressed with her post-fight interview. I think she did the boxing community well because she actually went over and learned and trained before she got out there for her first fight. She didn't go in just being a total spectacle or anything like that. And I think the MMA world appreciates that.
Yes.
So I really, she looked good in that outfit though. I know that. I like that. She looked better than that boxing gear she be wearing. But yeah, she the quote, man. She the quote. And I'm so happy. I'm just elated and so happy for Clarissa. She deserves it all, man. She deserves it all. Girl labors and work her butt off, and she dares to be great. And it's I'm gonna tell you one thing though. Boxing should be ashamed of itself, man, because they don't do these women a positive. Hold on, it's rock and roll right here. They don't do these women crap. Okay, now we're smooth out. They don't do these women a positive, man, where they don't give them the recognition or try to put the fights together in a way so that they'll get recognition and eyes on them from the fans. I mean, God dog. I mean, MMA is so many leaps and bounds ahead of boxing when it comes to pleasing the fans. When it comes to women fighters, and boxing, I mean, they just I don't know, man. It's crazy, man. They got to figure out something. They got to clean it up, man. But anyway, she is a prime example of women not getting their just dues in boxing and having to go over to the sister sport, which is MMA. And I guarantee you, man, from what I saw, there were so many platforms before I laid myself down to sleep, and after I woke up, that was on YouTube. It was all about that match. So I had never seen that many lit up like that since a huge big fight. You know what I'm saying? So it's she got a lot of eyes on her this evening, man, for a Thursday night. So I'm very happy. And then not counting the extra eyes that are going to watch later, because I'm going to be upset. My eyes are going to be a pair that watches later as well. But yeah, man, I'm very elated for it, man. It might get good enough for her where she might leave boxing alone, but I don't see that happening. I'm just talking. But if she's making money and she's doing her thing over in MMA and being successful, roll with it, sister. Do what you got to do. Make your money and lay your legacy down.
This is what I think, brother. I think the only fight she should come back to boxing for is Savannah Marshall. No other fight makes sense. Katie Taylor's too small. She won't get no credit for that.
Yeah.
Savannah Marshall, or focus your attention on MMA. If you stay in MMA, you're going to make money. You're going to get the $500,000, $750 million fights. You're going to get that in MMA. You will not get that in boxing. The only fight left for you in boxing right now is Savannah Marshall. If Eddie Hearn is not trying to give you the bag, $750 or $1 million to fight Savannah Marshall, fuck that fight. Stay in MMA.
Hey,
focus your attention on MMA. And in 2 to 3 years, you'll be ready for the Nunes fight because you'll be trained up, number one. Number two, most importantly, Nunes will be a little bit older if she's still around because she's like 31, 32. So she'll be a little bit older. You'll have more training and you can deal with Kayla Harrison or a fucking Amanda Nunes. But right now, you can't. You can't deal with them right now.
Man, I gotta take a call.
All right, go ahead, brother. But I think she needs to stay in MMA and focus her time and attention on MMA right now because that's where the money is.
That's a good point. She shouldn't be trying to double dig. I like where you're coming from with that. You got me?
Yeah. What'd you say, brother? Say it again.
I said, yeah, that's a good point. I think that you made. I think you're right. She shouldn't be trying to double dip boxing and do the MMA. She should just go full in on the MMA while it's hot. And then, if that fight you're talking about comes, and she can always step aside and go back to it.
Right. Because her biggest issue was what? They're not paying me enough. I think her biggest payday in boxing was what, $350? Something like that. $350, $400,000.
Yeah.
She made more than that tonight, more than likely. For this little contract she signed with PFL, I'm pretty sure she made more than that. You know what I'm saying? A fight with a couple of years down the line, a fight with a Nunes or a Kayla Harrison, you talking about $1 million fight. You ain't never gonna see that in boxing. You haven't seen it, and you ain't never gonna see it. Boxing don't pay don't pay women that much. They pay men, but they don't pay women.
Do you think after this fight, though, her name being out there more, that she might be able to get a couple more dollars boxing, or you think it's going to stay the same? The market is just what it is.
The market is what it is. Now, if Eddie Hearn feels the buzz and he can sell the fight in the UK, he might give her the $750 or the $1 million she wants for the Savannah Marshall fight. I don't see it happening, but if it happens, she should take the fight. If any other fight besides Savannah Marshall comes up, say no, stay in MMA, and get your bread. That's what you went over there for in the first place.
Yeah. Man, it was great to see. I loved it, man. Even the little trouble she was in, she never looked like it was too much for her, though. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She was in terrible positions, but it didn't look like she was overwhelmed by it. And even she said she was worried about it.
But here's the thing. This is what you got to look at, bro. She was fighting a girl who's 3-6 and really a nobody in the sport.
Right.
If that was Kayla Harrison or if that was Amanda Nunes, she was toast.
Right.
She was done. So she needs to stay focused on MMA, maybe train for another 3 months, then take another fight. Train for another 3 months, then take another fight. What she needs to work on, for me, is takedown defense and sprawling. That's all she really needs to work on. Don't try to become no Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and grapple with these bras. It's not what you need to do. You need to work on your takedown defense and your sprawling. Getting back to your feet. You got to keep every fight on the feet because none of them bras can deal with you on the feet. Now, what's going to happen is she going to start, when she starts getting to the upper echelons of MMA, they're going to start trying to take that lead leg out with leg kicks.
Right.
She got to work on checking kicks. But those are the only things she needs to be working on. I was on a panel, I think it was Monday, and I spoke to a legendary boxing trainer, Tommy Brooks, right? Brooks trained Holyfield, he trained Pernell Whitaker, Junior Jones, all these top-level guys, right? So the question was posed to him. He said, when you go into a fight, you just laying out a game plan. Do you have a plan A, B, a plan C, or plan D, or all of the above? Tommy Brooks said, no. When I plan a fight for a fighter, I got a plan A and I got a plan B. If you give them too many plans, they get confused and none of the shit works. So you start with plan A. Plan A don't work, you go to plan B. Plan B don't work, you go back to plan A. But don't give a motherfucker too much because then they get confused and that's how they get beat. And that's the same thing I think for Clarissa. Don't try to do too much. Don't try to be no damn Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. None of that shit. That's not your game. You want to keep it on the feet and you want to have great sprawling and great takedown defense. That's all you need and you can dominate in this sport.
Yeah, you just made me think about it. That girl, she didn't throw any kicks, any leg kicks or anything like that today, huh?
Nah, that's not her game. That girl was trying to take her down. That girl's not that type of fighter. That girl was just trying to get her on the ground. And it didn't work out for her because Clarissa was too strong for her and just dogged her. She just overpowered her, got her down, and then pounded her out of there, which was good. Now I think you give her in 3 more months from now, you give her another low-level girl. Just keep letting her get her feet wet. She shouldn't be thinking about Harrison or Nunes or any of them top-level chicks for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years before she's stepping up like that.
Jalen said in the comments she has a 3-year PFL deal. She can't even think. Wait, hold on. Where'd it go? She can't even think about Nunes until the deal is over. So, yeah, 3 years. Right?
That's good. That's facts. That's good. That's good. I believe that. That's a good thing. And she don't need to think about Kayla Harrison for at least a year and a half, 2 years. Keep fighting lower level chicks, gradually stepping up her competition after she trains for 2 or 3 months. Don't take the fights too fast. Don't try to have no quick turnarounds. Just take her time. Take her time. And stay focused on MMA. She's done everything she needs to do in boxing. She's done everything she needs to do in boxing. There's really nothing left for her. The only fight left for her is the Marshall fight. There is not another fight there that's worthy of her time.
Yeah, that's a great point. What Kyle said? He already laid it down?
Now you say you got an interview coming a little later.
Oh, okay. You said no for that?
Yeah.
Hi, Mr. Shelton.
Who's that?
Who is that?
Say it again.
Oh, you gotta
Hi,
go.
Mr. Shelton.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Who is
Good. What you doing up this late?
Nothing. But I
Nothing.
want to talk some MMA. Is that okay?
That's beautiful. Send him on.
What's happening?
What's up, man? What's going on with you, brother?
How we feeling tonight?
Feeling
It's your
good,
time,
man.
baby.
Feeling good. I was just giving my little take on my thoughts on what she should do. I think that she should forget boxing for now. The only fight over there for her is Savannah Marshall. If she can't get that fight for the price she wants, fuck that fight. Stay in MMA. You're going to make your bread over there if you take your time, move along gradually, and do it the right way.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing really over there in boxing for her right now, so that's why I believe this was a good move for her. I mean, just to stay active and not retire at 26, 27 years old, because she's pretty much cleaned out, 2, 3 weight classes? And she hadn't even had 20 pro fights yet, so there's not a lot left other than sitting back and waiting on these other chicks to come up. Now, tonight, she got put in some bad spots tonight. I'm not gonna lie about that. It was just all due to inexperience. It's not like that girl was so much better than her. It was it was all the moves that I saw were just all inexperience.
Right.
The biggest thing that I took away from that, just you did a great job sprawling. You did a great job stopping some of her takedowns. All you got to do is just stand back up, Clarissa. Just stand up.
Yes. Instead of trying to take her back, right?
She's not going to outstrike you, but she stayed on the ground and tried to land some ground and pound in those earlier rounds. And Miss Elkins was able to turn her and get on top of her and take advantage of those positions. Just being a more experienced grappler, that's all it was. And she got mounted at least twice in that fight.
Right.
And I was speaking about it earlier on Fred's channel. You let somebody like a Kayla Harrison or a Juliana Pena or, Julia Budd or some of these more or Sarah McMahon, who was also a silver medalist in wrestling in the Olympics.
Yeah.
You let some of these more experienced, some more seasoned grapplers get a hold of you and get in that position, you're going to get stopped.
Yeah, they're going to get you out of there.
They're going to get you out of there. So it was just all inexperienced tonight. She looked like a girl who was in her first MMA fight, pro or amateur.
Right.
She didn't have any amateur fights as well. So, yeah, you got to take that into account as well, man. So, all in all, I think she did great. I give her a B+. It's just some positions that she's inexperienced in that she'll get better at. Like I said, she's with a great team, and they're going to go back and they're going to watch this tape, and she's just going to get better.
You know what I saw tonight that really impressed the shit out of me, bro?
What's that?
She has a champion's mindset. She refuses to lose.
Yes.
She refuses to lose.
Yes. There was
she was in some really bad spots.
She could have hung it up, man. She could have hung it up.
That arm bar, she fought it off. She made a big mistake, in my opinion, when she sprawled. Remember, she sprawled out of that double leg, and instead of standing up, she tried to go for the girl's back and got mounted.
Yeah. It's like you're not ready for that yet.
You're not ready for that yet.
High-level stuff, man.
Yeah, you're not ready for that yet.
So, yeah, like that Kayla Harrison fight, that fight will have to build, and I don't know if Kayla Harrison will still be in PFL by that time. She might go over. I mean, but her and Amanda Nunes trained together, so I don't think they'll fight
at American Top Team, right?
Yeah, they're both at American Top Team, which is one of the top 3 gyms in MMA. So
I'll say this again, DJ.
She has a long way to go, but damn it if she didn't get off on the right foot.
Yes, she did. But I'm gonna say this again, DJ. I said this about a month ago. I'm gonna say it one more time, man. If you smart, you keep her as far away from Kayla Harrison as possible. you keep her away.
As far away from other grapplers as possible. Match her up with other strikers. Get her in there with some Muay Thai girls. Get her in there with some kickboxers. Get her in there with some other boxers. Let's keep her away from the jits girls and the judokas and the wrestlers. Let's keep her away from them as long as we can.
Yeah, let her build her game up. Let her get some confidence, because now she's gonna be. That's probably gonna be in the back of her mind, and going into this fight or even transitioning into MMA, that was one of her biggest fears, being on her back and not knowing how to get up. Now, a lot of stuff she was doing tonight, as far as trying to get up, was all power. She was trying to power out of situations instead of just using the proper technique. Like there was one spot where Brittany Elkins had her in half guard, and she walked her over to the fence. All Clarissa had to do was flip her hips, put her feet on the fence, push off the fence, and she would have flipped her over. She has strong enough hips to do that, but that's just inexperience. She didn't realize I don't think she realized where she was in the cage, and I think at that point she's just thinking, I got to do something to get up. I got to do something to get up. I can't stay in this position. Instead of thinking, okay, I'm by the cage. I see the fence right here. All I got to do is put my feet on the fence and flip over. But that'll all come with time. It'll all come with time. I have no doubt that she'll correct a lot of these mistakes, and I think she'll look better in her next fight. I just love the fact that she took the risk and she went over to their world.
Yeah.
And won.
Fully embraced it, man. Just fully embraced the grind. They didn't have any special rules for her. No, you're gonna come over in MMA and you're gonna fight. So I believe they should and something else that I noticed too, she has a lot more pop on her punches than I thought she did. And I think the 4-ounce gloves really exposed that, because you saw every time she hit Brittany, you will see her head pop back. She started doing, as James Toney used to say, she started doing hiccups.
Yeah.
So, I was like, okay, Clarissa has a lot more pop on her punches than I thought she did. But her striking is where I thought it would be, as far as her hands, as far as her boxing in the sport.
Can't nobody box with her.
Huh?
Can't nobody box with her.
Can't nobody box with her. But one thing that she needs to tighten up as far as her striking is her distance was off. Like,
yes.
you gotta gauge that distance now, that you gotta account for kicks and knees. So I saw her miss a couple punches where it's just you're just out of range, because Brittany Elkins threw a kick and she landed a leg kick on her. I was like, yeah, she got to work on her distance, because if that shot would have landed, she probably would have dropped it with that as well. So is like I said, I'm so proud of her, man. I'm so happy for her. I'm happy. I'm even happy she got her oil check tonight, and she sees that it's not going to probably be as easy as she thought it was going to be. I don't know how easy she thought it was going to be, but I think she sees now that it's not going to be that easy. She's not going to be a champion within 8-9 fights like she was in boxing.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
So it's going to be a grind for her, but I look forward to the future. What's going on, my good brother DB?
DB,
what's going on, gents? What's up,
on,
family?
brother?
Sheldon Moore, how you feeling, Cuzzo?
I'm feeling
Champion
good,
Hard.
How you doing, brother?
Champion
man,
Hard.
I feel good, man.
Oh man, we got a party.
So I got to hear your take on it. I thought the girl did a hell of a job. What you think about it, DB?
I did too, man. The most important thing is to get the victory. Like, that's the most important thing.
Thanks.
First and foremost, you got to win. And sometimes when you win, it don't look the way that people want it to look. If I related to boxing, Errol Spence went out there and got a victory against Sean Porter. He got a W at the end of the day. People didn't like it. They thought he coulda, shoulda, woulda. At the end of the day, she got the W, and that made me proud, man, to get that. To take a test like this, not that the fighter was an amazing fighter, but she was long. And if you're a jiu-jitsu player and you're long, you immediately have an advantage over somebody, even if they are another jiu-jitsu player. But if they're not, and you have experience at a purple belt is halfway to a black. This girl's a purple belt, I believe. DJ, if you know if she's not or not, but I think she's a purple belt. She's been doing a lot of tournaments to get ready for this fight. And I think she had, I believe, 9 jiu-jitsu matches in the last year or so. So like she
already had her black belt. She didn't have her black belt.
Oh wow! What? Guess what? You might be telling me something I don't know. I believe that she.
I thought Brittany already had her black belt. I have to go back and look that up. I thought she already had a black belt.
Yeah, well, if she do, is somebody need to take some stripes off of that, or she need to get dropped back down to a brown. Because the way she had,
she need a little bit more training, huh?
Yeah, okay, man, so the way that
she's a brown belt in jits, so.
Okay, there it is. Yeah. So and she performed like a blue. So the way she had her legs locked up and to allow Clarissa to turn her over and to get on top of her and to mount her the way that she did. How you got brown belt hips and you get mounted like that? You know what I'm saying? Now you deserve to get your head beat in. But Clarissa Shields, one thing that I was really impressed with, not really impressed, but I liked, is when Clarissa Shields mounted her and she threw about 5 head strikes. She took a deep breath, caught her breath, looked up to try to convince the ref, like, hey, I got this. And then the ref didn't stop it yet. And then she took a couple with the left, and then she did some more with the right. So she took her time when she was on top. And that was some veteran shit right there.
Yeah.
To sell it to the referee. You know what I mean? But overall, man, this is great. I don't know who she has in the next round of the tournament, but it's just going to get better, man. And I think this was, as I mentioned before, an hour ago, this is going to give her an opportunity to go back to the drawing board to say, look, these are the things that I felt comfortable with. And also looking at yourself on film, obviously you see things that you didn't necessarily feel. She'll do that. And then her teammates knows how to assess her. And also the coaches will be able to look at it and say, okay, now let's take a different approach. And the final thing I'll say on this is, too, I don't know how she was in her training camps. I don't know how she was with her video sessions and stuff like that. But if there was any, and let me see, I don't want to use the word arrogance, maybe overconfidence, maybe if that was the attitude, like in training, I think now, and again, I don't even want to use, I guess humble would be the word that you could use. I think she'd be more receptive though to listening to all the grapplers in her gym and people that just have little tidbits of advice for her. But yeah, man, Sky's.
Wait a minute, DB. Yep. You said she's in a tournament?
Yeah.
Is she in the tournament? I thought they was just giving her a fight. I didn't think she was in the tournament.
Yeah.
No, tournament. Yeah, tournament. She's
in
the tournament.
Man.
Oh, yeah, it's not. Yeah. Well, she's going to do as good as she can, but she's not going to win. If she's in the tournament, yeah. But she's going to do great.
Eventually, she's going to run into Kayla Harrison if she keeps winning.
Question, y'all. I saw when she was talking about in the beginning about coming over to PFL, she said she wasn't going to be in the tournament when she first joined. She was just going to be taking fights. Did that change?
Yeah, I hope not.
Oh, okay, man. I didn't hear. Yeah, I didn't hear the post fight, but according to Mir here, it says no, that she's not. That he doesn't think that she's in a tournament. Yeah, so I haven't read anything lately, but when she initially started, she was supposed to enter the tournament, and then that was the last thing I heard about her, like being in the tournament. So I didn't know that she wasn't. But I'll find that.
Yeah. We'll find that out. I hope she's not in the tournament, man.
Yeah, me too. I really do.
Yeah, I don't think she's ready for that yet. I mean,
no.
I said, we saw her inexperienced tonight, but we also saw her. We also know that you also see now that you got to put her out to take her out. She's not gonna quit.
That's right.
She's not gonna give you her hand and say, "All right, get me out of here." You're gonna have to take her out to win fights against Clarissa Shields, and I love that.
Yeah, me and my cousins, we always make this joke. There's probably about 11 or 12 places in the United States. And when I say this, that people come from, that you just can't break that person's will because of what they grew up with. And there are certain parts of, and I'll start from the top, certain parts of Oakland, certain parts of the Stockton, Sac, Lodi area, and then of course South Central, Inglewood, and the other side of LA, Flint is also one of those places. Detroit, Chicago. You guys get the point, right? Brownsville, Brooklyn, and
right,
Camden, Newark. There's a few places where people come from that they've seen so much over the course of their life as a youth, and by the time they get into their adult age, it's like, look, man, this is just fighting for me, and I'm good at it, and this shit is fun. So, you're definitely gonna have to break my spirits and my will in order to beat me. It's not going to just be off of you throwing a couple of punches at me. Yes, indeed.
Right.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yes, indeed. Mir talking about Omaha.
What do you say, Omaha? No, Alabama. Alabama. Talking about
hey, DJ, what's the tough city in Alabama?
There's a few of them. You got Birmingham, which is the major one. Folks die every day up there. Then you got the little country cities, man, like Selma, Montgomery. Even though Montgomery is the capital, it's pretty much, I'd say, 90% black. So it's nothing but straight hood. Then you got places like Anniston, where I'm from. You got Phoenix City, all of Mobile, pretty much all of Mobile. Talladega, Alabama, Gaston, Alabama. It's more along these little country cities that crimes don't necessarily always get reported, but you have a lot of stuff to deal with coming from those places.
So what's that one city though that everybody in Alabama knows is like this is the one right here?
Birmingham.
The
Birmingham, the east and west side of Birmingham. Like they were on first 48. I'll put it to you like that. They had at some point back in like 2012, 13, probably from 2009 to probably about 2012, 13, they had more murders per capita than Chicago.
Sheesh. I didn't realize it was so bad.
Birmingham is rough, man. And I went to college up there in Fairfield. You got Fairfield, Midfield, Ensley, Bessemer, where like Bo Jackson and Jameis Winston and all
Bessemer,
them.
Alabama.
Yeah, man, it's rough over there.
Yeah, Bo said it was rough when he was coming up.
Who?
Bo.
Yeah, man, it's rough
Vincent.
over in that part, man. So and then like I said, you got Ensley, where they've had the green light effect over in Ensley since they killed them 3 police over there in broad daylight. Them boys do not care. They do not care. They will, if you don't give it up, they will kill you. Or if they feel like you got something on you, they will kill you for it. They won't ask for it. They'll just kill you for it.
Wow. Eli Zachary said, man, Mobile, Alabama is at war. They killing families and all. Wow, I didn't know it was that tough down there, man. Sorry to hear that.
Mobile, man, that Pritchard, Daphne, Julio's from down that way. He's from Foley. That's a little further down, but definitely Pritchard and Daphne and all of Mobile County. It's rough down there too, man. They hate on their own people. They don't like to see people make it out. So if they feel like you got a chance to make it out, they don't like that, man. They got that crab in a bucket mentality down there. That's why a lot of guys can't go back home. Like Young Blue, he can't go back home.
Man, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Man. It's crazy here. Like I said, it probably don't get the same attention as a LA or a Memphis or a New York, but it's definitely rough down here, man.
Yes, Champion Hart in the on the panel. I can't see it.
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
All right, go and cook on it. E, I want to hear your take on it.
Yeah, MMA night.
Yeah, man. You know what? What surprised me and what I was impressed about with Clarissa was when she was taken down, she didn't panic. You know what I'm saying? Normally someone without the experience, their mentality is, I got to get up. So what they'll do, they give up their back trying to get up. She was calm. She dealt with the storm. She got through it. And then she got taken down again the next round, and she was calm the whole time. So that really, impressed me with that sister. The fact that she was able to get out of that armbar, it was like you were saying, DB, that was just pure will for her to be able to get out of that armbar. Her mentality was, I'm not losing. And she was able to get out that armbar. And, I know once she started, putting them hands on her, that it was going to be over. A lot of those girls aren't going to be able to deal with the punching of Clarissa because she's, she has that boxing foundation, which was good to build from. So a lot of those girls don't have that. Now, at the same time, had the girl, see, one of my fears is that they were setting her up. You see how they did, what's the brother? Shit. God damn it. The kid that fought Randy Couture.
Oh,
James Toney.
James Toney. You see how they did him when he came over. They put him up against the best. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want no bullshit. You're not coming in here and taking over nothing. You know what I'm saying? They put him up against the best. Randy Couture took him down, choked it out. That was it. You ain't hear nothing. My fear is that they were going to set Clarissa up like that because I was talking about it to Tank and Kyle the other night. I was saying that the fear of them doing her like that, because you see how they do Anita Hill in MMA when she, the fights that she does and the good fights that she has, and they won't, she lose, and these girls won't rematch her.
Angela.
Yeah, Angela. Yeah. Angela Hill, the way they do her. So I was, my fear was they was going to set Clarissa up, get her on out the way, but that's not the case. They looks like they're going to be promoting her, put some money behind her. I think she needs to start going on shows like The Talk and The Real and shows like that, man, so that she can get more of a following behind her, because you know, like you were saying, DB, she's had a hard life. She really needs to be out there to inspire a lot of young Black girls that really need to know her story, know what she's gone through, to see who she has become with all the adversity that she's gone through growing up.
Yeah.
Champion Hart, I got a question for you.
Sure, go ahead.
Do you believe that maybe Clarissa believes that she goes on the reel and the talk and like Wendy Williams and all that and The View? Does she think that would soften her in some ways? Because I think that's what she needs. She needs to feminize her image a little bit. What do you think?
You know, I agree with that. I guess her confidence can be misunderstood, and I think that you got a point that she may feel that may soften her, but she, you know, she needs to do that though. At the same time, you know, she definitely needs to do that. Of course, you know, we want her to come and, you know, talk to the, you know, to the Black media outlets that, you know, that the brothers are doing, but she definitely needs to go on shows like that.
Yeah, I don't think that she's shying away from going to those big platforms. They just didn't really. They just really haven't invited her yet. But I think this is one of the first opportunities of her broadening her brand, that they will start having conversations with her, especially like the View and the Good Morning America. They'll go there and she'll gain some fans from that. And I think that's more of the acceptance that she wants versus here. I think that she probably feels like she's maxed out her fan base in terms of like our people. And truthfully, I don't never see her ever come into the barbershop or you know, she'll talk to Kyle, but I don't think that she'll ever come to the barbershop.
No, I don't think she will. I don't think she cares for Fred at all.
Why is that?
You know,
her and Fred got this thing. Fred said something that she didn't like, and you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Fred told her that she needs Black representation.
Yeah.
Oh, and she got pissed about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think she needs to soften her image at all. I mean, if you go back and look at it when Ronda Rousey was coming up, she had this tough, I'm not a do nothing bitch attitude. I'm better than all these girls. And it's pretty much the same thing that Clarissa Shields is doing. And they love Ronda for it. She was out here talking about she could beat up men and all this type of stuff. People ate it up. A lot of people drank the Kool-Aid on that.
DJ.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. I was about to say. I wasn't gonna say. I was about to say.
Yeah,
I was about to say. We live in the real world now, brother.
I know.
Not the fantasy.
I don't think she needs to soften her image, man.
Me neither. I don't think she needs to soften her image, bro. I just think what we add for us to say that these are the same women that pushed away men like Ice Cube and pushed away Black men that are on those platforms. When you say you have somebody like Clarissa Shields that's representing for her whole family, and that's a woman that really stands out. She's talking about her man and her relationship with him. She's talking about her relationship with her father. She's everything that we need in the Black community, men and women. So she shouldn't have to go and delegate, you know, with those women and try to become a part of that type of feminist type movement to be able to get support. We have to continue to push for her too. I think some of the things that us as men are asking her to do, that shit's not fair. Because if she had an emotional response to that, or if she had something on her mind about her representation, and that was her business, then so be it. It was her business. But to shun her and cut her all the way out when she doing what a Black woman should do, like, that shit is crazy, bro. Because look at what these women are doing. They shutting us out. And now we going to tell a woman that's not doing that to us that she need to go to the other side. I don't care how strong she comes across. She comes across as a woman for her community. And that's bigger than anything for me.
Yeah, at the end of the day, fact, you know, you're right about that. But I think that what you know, we're saying as far as something her image, and I think someone was talking about it on the trail that she's not the approachable type or something like that, and I think that's the misconception of what you get from her. I don't think necessarily saying that she should like sell out. Is that what you mean?
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying sell out. I'm saying that whole feminist movement that's going on, the women that are on those platforms, and basically what we're talking about is telling her to go join that to get any recognition. But in reality, she's already doing what we all want as a community for our women. So it's like we got to support her more ourselves.
Right. Well, I think we were saying she needs to get more on platforms of that sort, so that she will get out there, so that more young Black girls can see her. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't follow the fight game, you don't know who she is.
Well, you know what surprised me? My daughter's sitting next to me on the couch right now, and she brought me a side by side with her and Ryan Destiny just like 2-3 days ago. And Ryan Destiny is the girl from Star, the dark skinned girl from the show Star. She's supposed to be playing Clarissa, and this is my 13-year-old daughter that was bringing it to me, and it started a conversation of me and her up. She does not watch fights or anything, but tonight we watched that fight because I was like, hey, this is who this is, baby. She's great. She's this. She's that. She that.
Are they making a movie about Clarissa?
What do you mean?
That's what I'm telling you. We would know that my 13-year-old daughter brought this to me. We would know these things if we were actually entertaining the sister and really pushing along. And she brought it to me. And the young lady Ryan Destiny, her question was, Daddy, do you think this is a good comparison for her to play this role? And I looked over and I was like, oh shit, it's Clarissa. I like, she better take that role. Clarissa's great. And then my daughter was like, oh, okay. And I kind of went over the whole thing, and we had me, my wife, my daughter. We actually watched the fight tonight. My wife watch fights with me and stuff, but my daughter never sit up and entertained it. Now that just like in other households, I believe it can have that same effect. Just by us pushing her through, and then like this is me and my daughter having this conversation, not some feminist woman movement having it, and then it's like, oh, well, the fight fans are really us as men still. It's not like those same women are gonna sit down and watch those fights.
But what I was saying, Eli, what I was getting at was this, right? Like Champion Hart said, if you're not a fight fan, you have no idea who she is.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And whether we like it or not, a lot of young Black women, young Black girls watch those shows.
No.
And for her to get on one of those shows and they can see her, that can only raise her profile. Now, we don't want her to change who she is, but she's going to have to learn as she grows in the sport and starts to move in the upper echelons as far as revenue, how to be more palatable, how to be more marketable, how to be more approachable, I should say. Because, eventually you're going to have to change some things to get what you want. That's just the way America works. Yeah. I mean, we may not like it, but it's what it is. You know what I'm saying?
One thing she does have, and it works for her right now she has the internet on fire. And for me, most of the younger kids that are not really, or younger women and younger kids are not really on those particular shows. Older women are on those shows for branding outside of that, like her marketing, her movie and everything. But my daughter came to me with this off of TikTok or something like that, where the memes are being made and she's breaking the internet. She's gonna have social media in a blaze, and social media right now is pushing the fight game.
Yeah, she has a great documentary out already, man. From the time that she won her first gold medal up until the time that she up until the 2016 Olympics when she won her second gold medal. She had a documentary leading up to that, and it was showing how she wasn't getting any support from USA Boxing, how the stipend that she was getting from being on the Olympic boxing team it was barely enough to support herself, let alone an entire other family. She was threatening to go pro. She really didn't want to fight in the second Olympics, but before she won that second gold medal, she didn't want to go to the Olympics. She's like, I need money now. She couldn't even afford to stay with her parents. She had to go move in with her coach at the time. So it's a great documentary, man. I believe it was on Netflix. I can't remember the name of it, but that's when I first heard of Claressa Shields, and I started watching her story, and I became a fan of her then.
I would like to see her next to Beyonce and next to Serena Williams and those type of people in some type of promotional deal, for strong Black women, and just representing in that type of way on their own terms, not really just like some platform that's already established as just this type of deal. Just being the stars, the elite branded Black women. I believe she deserves that because the accomplishments that she put in and the physical and mental and spiritual strength that she has to show, which we saw on display tonight, it's amazing. And like y'all said earlier, it's something that our young women, our young girls need to know and need to see and be able to embrace that more than anything. That's a fighter spirit and a fighter showing you I can do anything, as a Black woman, as a young Black woman, and she's still attached to the culture to where she's, able to get out and do the events and do the dances and go with the newest trends and have fun and glow while she's doing it. When we see her dropping those videos where she's dancing and joking and pranking people and stuff, like that's the stuff right now that is built up on social media, the culture and everything, and a lot of the younger generation are following and will follow her for years to come. So
yeah.
Oh yeah, that young tennis player. Yeah.
But man, we got some great cards coming up this weekend in MMA, man. It's gonna be a great weekend. Number one, I can't wait to see my guy Stylebender retain his title against a guy that he's already fought and beat, but for some reason, this guy Marvin Vettori, the Italian Dream, feels like he won that first fight. Now, a lot of people who saw that fight disagree. Stylebender said, I'm not going to leave it in the hands of the judges this time because you had one dumb judge who actually gave Vettori that fight, and it was a split decision win. But he's like, I'm going to finish this dude. I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to get it over with this time. I'm not gonna leave any belief in his heart that he won the fight. I'm going to stop him, and I wholeheartedly believe that. What you got on that, DB?
Oh man, you said it, man. This is another huge one, I believe, and still. But Izzy in a press conference spoke, and he said that he was inspired by King Kamaru's annihilation of George Masvidal in their rematch, and also Francis Ngannou's decapitation of that caveman Neanderthal that you guys call Stipe Miocic. And he wants to duplicate. I think he wants to go in there and duplicate those devastating performances and put this opponent in the rearview mirror permanently. And I think this victory right here will do one of two things. It'll give him just a bit of time so that he can rest and possibly wait for one more fight at the end of the year. But according to Dana White said that with the amount of pressure and the questions that he's been asked, and I got my hand in the air right now, that UFC Africa will happen in 2022. So I think this win for him, it just makes that card that much bigger. But I'm looking forward to him, and I think that they both have. Improved. I think the biggest thing for Marvin is that he was in two main events where he fought 5 rounds. So, I think he may be ready for a 5-round bout. But outside of that, I think he's, he repeats a lot of the same things that he was doing. Izzy, on the other hand, has learned to use his distance better. He's using his kicks a lot more His takedown defense is pretty good. I mean, despite the big wrestlers that he's been in there with. But I think, man, he goes in there and he gets a finish, and it'll be similar to the Paulo Acosta fight. I think he's going to chop that lead leg down and jab his head a lot, and he might catch him with a counter and put him to bed. So that's my assessment for that.
I think he starches him, DB. I honestly think he starches him. I think it's a head kick coming straight down the pipe, and I think he starches him. No TKO. I think he starches him this time. Marvin Vettori is going to try to grapple with him because he felt like that's where he had the most success in that fight, because he was able to grab a hold of him. He was able to take him down and hold him down for a bit, but not too long, not really do any damage. He was able to take him down and hold him there for a good while. So, like you said, he's grown and he's matured in his career. He's learned how to use distance better. You learn how to use his kicks better in MMA, because he was still, I'm not gonna say he was still new to the sport, but he was this was probably his second or third fight in the UFC at that time. And this is probably Vettori's second or third fight in the UFC at that time. So they're meeting, at the right times, and they've met at the right times in their careers. But I got Stylebender and Steele by a second round KO.
Agreed.
Let's see who else is on that card. Got to talk about the king without a crown, Nate Diaz, man. The king without a crown, man. What you think about that fight, DB?
Well, I think the only part of him that can say king is that he's from California. But outside of that, he's fighting the king. He's fighting the second best welterweight in the division, behind the king and the GOAT of the welterweight division in Kamaru Usman. I think he's the only other fighter right now that gives Kamaru Usman a halfway decent fight. But outside of that, Nate's not a king. He's a solid guy. He's very durable. I believe he's pretty diverse. He uses good boxing. He's even spent some time in the ring with Andre Ward and working with Virgil several years ago. His jiu-jitsu is obviously Gracie-style jiu-jitsu. He's really dangerous off his back. I think that Leon's best bet is to go in there and mix it up. Use a little bit of wrestling, use some kickboxing, and use some boxing. Don't try to play the ground game. He'll let you in his guard because his guard is extremely dangerous, and Nate is crazy with throwing up a triangle choke. Or getting a crazy arm bar, or allowing you to get on top, turning his back, sliding, and then getting your back and get you in a nasty rear naked choke, a la Conor McGregor fight. But if Leon mixes it up and just do what he's been doing in his other fights, try not to be too exciting, just go in there and do what you're supposed to do. And and I don't think he'll pick Nate apart, but I think that he'll be able to, at least through the third round, put himself in a position where all viewers and judges and everybody knows that it's a pretty one-sided affair, and it's for the British fighter Leon Rocky Edwards.
I hope this fight is still a 5-round fight, man. I hadn't seen it yet. I hadn't seen whether or not they changed it, but I hope this is still a 5-round fight, because we all know that Nate Diaz is a slow starter, and he gets stronger as the fight goes on. It seems like the more he gets hit, the more he gets into a fight. And a lot of guys will punch themselves out trying to stop him, because even if you drop him, he'll get back up, a la Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor dropped him, 2 or 3 times in both fights, and he was still able to get up and put an ass whooping on Conor McGregor. I still think he won that second fight, because Conor ran from him, legit turned his back and ran from him those last 2 rounds, when Nate was really starting to turn up the pressure and put the pressure on him. He never throws anything hard. It's always volume. Nate puts this storm on people that a lot of people aren't able to stand up to. And once he sees that he has you tired, he and his brother will start digging those hooks to the body. Then they'll come back up to the head. They have great boxing. Both guys have great boxing. And then when these guys turn into wrestlers, once they get tired of engaging on the feet, that's when it becomes easier for Nate and Nick, who both fight similar, to get a hold of somebody's neck or get a hold of an arm and strangle or try to break somebody's arm. So I really would love to see Nate win this fight, even though Leon is on the cusp of a title shot. And that would be a great fight between Kamaru and Leon Edwards on the UFC Africa card. Even though I don't believe Francis will have his belt by then, I'd love to see. I'd love to see Dana White have to put that belt around Derek Lewis. But yeah, I'd like to see Nate Diaz win this fight, but I won't be disappointed if he doesn't.
Yeah, I didn't know my mic was muted, man. Can I go back on and speak on Izzy and Marvin?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Cats like the Stylebender. I think what we see with him is the same thing that we saw with Anderson Silva. You know, when cats are that good, they tend to get to a certain plateau and then they just kind of level off and just glide. You know, because it's almost as if they're like, okay, you know, I can't elevate anymore because if I do, then I won't be able to, to get fights. Guys won't fight me, you know what I'm saying? And they're not motivated. And this is a perfect example. You know, he said that he saw what Ngannou did with Stipe. That second fight that they had, man, that was perfect display of going back to the drawing board. And he said that motivated him, to get ready for the second fight, because I didn't think Marvin won the first fight, but he left it in the hands, because like I was saying, they get to a certain level and they just kind of coast, so it's like now, that motivated him to continue to elevate. So it's almost like we're not really seeing their ability, because it's almost as if they don't want to scare people off. you know what I'm saying? They don't want to scare other fighters off. So I think we're gonna see something special with this rematch with Izzy and Marvin. So I'm looking forward to it. And on the Nate fight, man, I think Nate and his brother, I think they make fights tougher than they have to be, because they got to try and show everybody how much punishment they can take, which is crazy, because you're not thinking about, longevity on how that's going to affect you, afterwards. But that's going to be that's going to be a good fight. And I mean, Nate's probably going to be all blooded up after the fight, but he's still going to be walking around the ring pounding his chest like he won, even if he didn't. But we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to speak on that. Guys like Izzy, man, that are so good, man. It's hard for cats like that to stay motivated. You saw that with Anderson Silva.
Well, when I see you guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty familiar with Leon Edwards, and I think the moment might get to him, because he doesn't really show up well in big spots. You know what I'm saying? He's been in big spots before and kind of shit the bed. So I want to see how he handles the moment. I don't think Nate, at this stage in Nate's career, presents anything physically that's going to intimidate Leon. Leon's more athletic. I think Leon is maybe a little stronger than Nate. But the moment, Nate's been here before. Leon hasn't performed well in these moments in the past.
I'm going to respectfully disagree there. I think that Leon Edwards has done exactly what I was talking about a little earlier. He's just got to go out there and do what he does. I think that if he goes out there and plays the game of trying to wow the crowd and fans, then that's when things won't work out for him. But the only person that he's lost to is the greatest welterweight of all time in Kamaru Usman. Everybody else that he's going out there and fought against, he beat him. So he fought big names. He fought against Vicente Luque. He fought against Brian Barberina when he was coming up. He beat Cowboy Cerrone. He beat Gunnar Nelson. He also had what was his last fight? The eye poke with Bilal Muhammad. He went out there and he beat all of these guys. So I would say that he also beat what's RDA's name? Rafael Dos Santos.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I mean, he's beat big.
Would you say, DB, that the Cerrone fight was his biggest moment so far in his career?
You're asking if that was his biggest win?
That's his biggest name. Next to Nate Diaz, that's his biggest name.
I might argue his last fight.
Cerrone is a bigger name.
Rafael Dos Santos is well respected in the sport, man. He's a former champion, had a weight class below, but he's a former champion nonetheless. And he's a great fighter, man. He's a gatekeeper at this stage of his career, but he's a great fighter, man. And that was a great test for him. And like DB has said, the only guy that he's lost to lately is the champion. So
facts.
I mean, he hasn't wowed anybody with his performances, but he's winning fights. He's winning fights, which is the ultimate objective in a fight, is to win the fight. But I just like you were saying, Shelton. I wonder how he's gonna react when Nate Diaz starts slapping him and calling him a bitch, and will he forget all of his technique and start trying to fight him? You know, we know those are the moments that Nate Diaz thrives in. Once he starts pressuring guys, starts slapping them, talking shit to them. What bitch? What bitch? Come on, bitch. What, all this type of stuff. A lot of guys don't react to that well. And and by the time to Nate Diaz's detriment, he often starts that, halfway through the second round or into the third round. And by that time, he's down 2 or 3 rounds in the fight, and he loses a lot of decisions that way. So I just want to see what happens when Nate Diaz turns up the pressure and how Leon Edwards reacts to that. Will he keep his technique? Will he keep his strong Muay Thai? Will he mix in some good takedowns and hold him down and bleed that clock and try to land some ground and pound? Will he try to play the ground game? Or will he try to, wow the crowd and put on an exciting fight for the crowd? Because I believe that'll go in Nate Diaz's favor.
So, DB, what do you think about, what I was saying about Izzy, man? Do you think we really are seeing guys that good? Do you really think we're seeing their best? I mean, the best of their ability?
No, I agree with you 1,000%. I'm sorry. Yeah, I agree with you. 1,000%. That was a pretty accurate assessment of his game. The only things that I would just want him to work on more is just to make sure that he continues to have strong hips and to have with the same thing that we said about Clarissa. When you have hands so good, people will hit you with those hands. I mean, you'll hit somebody with those hands 2 or 3 times and they go, yeah, that didn't feel nice. And they'll immediately go for the takedown. In his last fight, when he fought against Jan Blachowicz at light heavyweight, Jan said, you know what? He wasn't as fast as I thought he was, but he was much stronger. He said almost all of his punches that he threw at me hurt really bad. And you're talking about the light heavyweight champion saying this about a middleweight. So people will feel his hands and they'll start trying to take him down. So if he just continues to work on his either his wrestling takedown defense or just work on being great off of his back and learning how to use his hips and how to escape from being at the bottom, then man, the sky's the limit. He's already on his way to, it's basically a race for GOAT status between him and Kamaru Usman, right now in the way that things are going, or at least the GOAT from this generation. I think Usman has him a little edged out right now from the last 2 fights, but yeah, you were spot on. I also wanted to talk about this Leon Edwards. What could potentially be next for Leon Edwards if he goes in here and he finishes? And DJ mentioned that he may be in contention for a title shot. I would love that, and I think that's what's deserved. I think this fight should have already been the fight against Kamaru Usman. But what I think that they'll do is, even if he wins this fight, if he doesn't win by a knockout or a submission, which I doubt a submission happens, but if he doesn't win by knockout or just by annihilating Nate Diaz, they're going to set up fights for him to fight somebody like Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, maybe even a Gilbert Burns, or even a Kobe Covington or somebody. And they may even throw in a Khamzat Chimaev, depending on how he looks with whatever comeback fight he has. But I don't think that they're going to be ready to, or Dana White's going to just give him a shot. He's going to try to, do a whole lot of what Dana White does, hanging out with Donald Trump and politicking.
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree, DB. If he wins this fight, I don't see how you can't give him the next title shot, because he was already supposed to fight for the title, but thanks to COVID, he didn't get his shot, man. They couldn't. He couldn't train, and he couldn't get out of his country to take advantage of those fights. I mean, if you think about it, go back and look at it. He was supposed to fight Tyron Woodley earlier this year, or was it late? Yeah, it was earlier this year. He was supposed to fight Tyron Woodley, but due to COVID, he couldn't get out of the country. And so Gilbert Burns ended up getting that fight. So, and then Gilbert Burns took that and beat Tyron Woodley, and then got his title shot after that. So, I mean, but he had to wait. We all know the situation behind that. He ended up getting COVID, and then Jorge Masvidal got the shot, and he had to come back and get his shot after that. But Leon Edwards was supposed to have this title shot a year ago. So, seeing as how Kamaru Usman and that guy from Oregon are supposed to fight, I think, what is it, August, September, something like that?
Yeah, August.
Yeah. So after that, I mean, I don't see anybody else standing in his way. I mean, he's already beaten Gilbert Burns. I mean, I'm talking about Kamaru's already beaten Gilbert Burns, and he would have beaten Kobe twice by that time. So I don't see how they can't give him the title shot if he wins this fight.
Yeah, as I said, if he goes out there and he finishes the fight or he dominates Nate, I'm sure Dana White likes to play off of whatever's hot at the time, not necessarily who deserves something. But if Khamzat Chimaev comes in and he fights against anybody in the top 10, I say, let's see, who's number 7, number 8, who's around there?
Chiesa.
Michael Chiesa. Let's say he comes in, he fights a Michael Chiesa, and he starches him. I think his buzz will be just as much, and they may throw him in there for a title contention bout with Leon Edwards. Listen, it's not like Dana hasn't done it before, so it wouldn't be new news. You know what I mean? Real quick, man, let me look at the chat real quick, man. Box fans done slid into the building. Eli Zachary been here, of course. Let's see. The martial arts analyst, the brother Tank, said Leon's biggest fight was versus Usman. He came up short, but he didn't get destroyed like Usman's other competition has been getting destroyed lately. That's a fact, Tank. And then Shy 7220, he said, I'm listening to great facts here. Shout out to you. Bang, bang.
Yeah. So what are they gonna do with Covington, man? What is he trying to do next?
He's gonna get the fight. He's gonna get the rematch with Kamaru Usman. For some reason, he believes the king of the welterweight division had some moments in that fight where he thought that he won the fight, and like I said, I mean, it was a close fight, but you got stopped, bro. You got stopped.
And you got your jaw.
He broke your jaw. He broke your jaw and stopped you. So you can come up with all the excuses that you want in the world, but he broke your jaw and he stopped you. So you can say that he had, it was fake nut shots, it was fake eye pokes, I was winning that fight. He broke your jaw and he stopped you. So I mean, let him go ahead. Let him go ahead and run it back. I believe Kamaru Usman beats him quicker this time, or just beats him down even worse. And we're just gonna move on from that guy in Oregon. I really don't like to speak his name, even though I feel like he's playing a character, like a lot of people say. I don't know the guy personally. All I can see is all I can talk about is what I see on camera, and I think he's a butthole. And you get guys like who's trained with him, like Dustin Poirier, who say they can't stand the guy. Jorge Masvidal, who say they can't stand the guy. So it is what it is, man. I hope Kamaru Usman beats him down quicker this time.
That's a big fact. Jalen in the building. Jalen says Dana says Kobe's getting the next title shot. Yeah, that's what's on deck. D Hodges done slid into the building too. He said, "What's up, TBS panel chat? LDBC family salute." And Cam said Usman saying Leon's name now, and also, well, that's big. OG Gregory X done slid into the building. Peace and greetings to you, man. He said greetings, brothers and sisters, and shout out to the home team. Money in the Ghetto done slid in the building too.
Yeah, I mean, Leon is more than deserving of a title shot. Let's go ahead and put that out there. But due to unforeseen circumstances, he hadn't gotten it. And I would hate to see a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, who's been off for a while now. Everybody's praising him for what he did, taking those fights on like 2 weeks' notice, 3 weeks' notice, and winning them. But so did Kevin Holland. So, I mean, you're doing what a prospect should do. If you go out there and watch your competition, you're supposed to have quick turnarounds and you're supposed to win these fights. But now he's put himself at 9-0. He's put himself in a situation where he's going to have these step up in competition. I'd like to see him in there with a guy like Vicente Luque myself. I want to see him really get his oil checked because Vicente Luque, you can hit him in the face with a shovel and he's not going anywhere.
That's right.
And he's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so taking him down ain't gonna be a walk in the park. I'd like to see him fight Vicente Luque next.
I agree wholeheartedly.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that you're talking about?
Khamzat Chimaev. He
I would like that.
Yeah, he's a Chechnyan guy, but he grew up in Sweden, or basically trains in Sweden. He, I believe, is the number 2 or number 3 prospect from 2020 coming into 2021. And Dana White seems to like that hype because Khabib Nurmagomedov, who comes from the same area, same region, he left. So Dana wants to get a Chinese or a Russian person from that side of the world. And if he happens to be Muslim too, he wants to try to tap into all of the markets that are not tapped into or that has expired.
Yeah, we all know Dana White don't care about nothing but that green, man.
Yeah, I remember his.
He'll if he's got a Swedish contender, guess what? We're going to Stockholm. So that's why I believe this UFC Africa card is really gonna happen, man. Because we got at this time, man, we got 3 African champions. So then you got another Canadian African on the card, and Mean Hakeem Dawodu fighting this weekend. Yeah, man, this kid is nasty. He's mean. Like we talk about how Bud is mean. This kid is mean. Like he stopped. This guy hit him in the middle of a fight and started getting on his bicycle, started backpedaling. He was like, "No, fight me, bitch. Where you going? No, fight me. Come on, let's go."
What's this? Who's this?
His name is Hakeem Dawodu. He's he's from, I think, was it Nigeria?
Yeah,
he's Jamaican Nigerian. Jamaican Nigerian, but he lives in Canada.
That dude is bad.
Yeah, he's mean,
No,
man. The referee had to tell him in a couple of his fights, "Hey, just fight, be quiet," because he'll walk forward with his hands down. "No, you gonna fight me, bitch? Where you going?" So he's mean, man. He has great striking. He needs to work on his grappling, but his striking is fantastic, man. He's a mean guy. He's one of those guys that step on the gas and try to get you out of there. He's not setting up any strikes. Everything he throws is with intentions to break your face and make it a short night. So he's fighting on the card as well.
Yeah, quick correction. He's Jamaican Nigerian. He just lives in Canada.
Jamaican Nigerian, okay. But why did you say he's fighting out of Canada?
Because that's where he lives. He lives in Canada.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
He actually trained in Ireland at the same gym as Connor and Dylan and those dudes over there. Crew, yeah. He trained over there, but he's been living in Canada for quite some time, and that's what he's coming out. But he wears his Nigerian and Jamaican flags when he comes out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I was confused. I was like, why does it say he's fighting out of Canada? But okay, cool. But his name is Mean Hakeem Dawodu. Y'all should check him out, man. He's on the prelims of this card. Mean kid.
Definitely gonna check him out.
He's 12. He's
You done
12
made me a
1.
fan now.
Yeah, man.
I can watch that
He's
before
a
the
fantastic
Shakur
young
fight comes
prospect,
on.
man. Fighting at 145, I believe. So
Yeah, that could
yeah,
be my
check him
warm up
out,
to the
man.
Shakur fight. I can watch that.
Yeah, man. Check him out, man. He's nice. He's nice. You got another guy in that division too. I think he just lost his last fight in a close fight with Arnold Allen. You got Super Sadiq Yusuf, who's also from Nigeria. Yeah, he's a fantastic young prospect too. I think he just lost in his last fight, but that's everybody takes a loss here and there. A losses mean nothing in MMA because there's so many ways you can lose. So
that's right.
Yeah, he'll rebound just fine, man. He's still ranked in the top 10, I believe. So yeah, he'll rebound just fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
The co-main event on this card, though, DB, I think it's fight of the night again. You got the rematch between the champion, the 125-pound champion, Davison Figueiredo, against the baby-faced assassin, Brandon Moreno from Mexico.
That's a war. That's a war right there.
Man, if y'all didn't see that first fight, when we get off of here, please go look that fight up. These guys threw leather in that first fight. Both guys got dropped. Both guys got hurt.
What is it again? I need to go look that fight up. I didn't see the first one.
Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. It was for the 125-pound title. Davison's 125-pound title. I believe the last fight ended in a draw. Am I right, DB? Yeah, it ended in a draw, didn't it?
Ended in a draw.
Like a month notice, right?
Yeah, these guys threw leather. This would be a great fight for anybody to watch, man. This was one of those fight of the year candidates last year, in 2020, or was it earlier this year? Was it earlier this year?
No, that was last year.
It was either late last year or earlier this year.
It was last year.
It was last year. Okay, but those guys
take that fight on like a month's notice or something.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Those guys threw down, and that's the co-main event. These guys are rematching it, and I expect the same thing in this fight. Because neither guy's going to take a step back. So these small guys, man, I'm telling you, one step here, there, and it's all about timing and speed in these in those lower weight classes, man. So both guys have great striking. Both guys are great scramblers. If somebody gets taken down, they're great at scrambling back to their feet. Davison has a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't know if Brandon Moreno has a rank in jiu-jitsu, but he's great at scrambling. If he gets taken down, he's good at getting back to his feet. So this will also be a great fight to watch.
I also want to put in perspective. I want to, number one, he does have a black belt in jiu-jitsu, by the way, Brandon Moreno. But this is one of the things that I was talking about before. Brandon Moreno fought against one of my other really, really dope top prospects, Brandon Royval, and it was a cool matchup of two Southern California Mexicans going at it. And that fight was in November, and then he fought again in December. So when we say it was a short notice fight, it wasn't like he came off the couch. He had just got into a fight that he won in the first round by submission. So, it wasn't like he was out of shape. He took a fight because he was in shape and he was ready, and he took no damage. So, but yeah, it's a good matchup. I think the fight will be good for probably 2 rounds, but I just believe that Davison Figueiredo just kind of had an off night. He was sick. He was throwing up before the fight started. Somebody in his camp, I don't know, they made a bonehead move and gave him some fucking top ramen or some shit like that after he weighed in.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. He got food poisoning. I remember that. Right. I remember that now that you say that. Yeah, he had food poisoning before the fight. And Dana actually thought he was going to pull out of the fight. He wanted him to pull out of the fight because he heard about how sick he was, and Davison was like, "Fuck no, man, we doing this."
Yeah. So, but yeah, and I'm definitely pulling for that melanated pugilist. So that should be good. I can't see the chat. Can you see the chat, DJ? What they talking about in the chat? By the way, was that Champion Hart that said he didn't see the first fight with Figueiredo and Moreno?
I didn't see it. I'm gonna pull it up.
Oh, I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up and send it to you right now.
Yeah, if anybody's listening in the chat and on the panel who hadn't seen that fight, please go back and watch that fight. You will not be disappointed, I promise.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna check it out, man. I missed that. I like those kind of fights in the MMA, so I got to see that. Yeah. But man, I appreciate chopping it up with you, brothers. I gotta lay it down, man. I'm pretty tired.
All right, E, get some rest, bro.
All right, man.
I gotta get out of here too. I got a big one tomorrow, fellas. But I will see you again.
All right now.
All right, Sheldon. Appreciate you, cuzzo.
Right, bro. Yes, sir.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
Check it easy.
All right, who we got in here? Brother Boxing Talk. Got Eli in here. Robert Brown, that's Davidson Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. Just look up Figueiredo and Moreno. It should pop right up as soon as you look it up. But yeah, that was a barn burner, man. That was that's like I said, it was one of those fight of the year candidates, man. But you know, it was hard for people to forget that Joanna Jędrzejczyk against Zhang Weili fight that happened right before COVID lockdown last year. So
I mean, I think that was a great fight for a woman's fight, but I still think that the Figueiredo and Moreno fight was a better fight. I mean, listen, those are not my style of fights. Of course, you know that, right? I hate when guys stand in the middle of the ring and just play rock'em sock'em robots. I want to see some defense. I want to see some feet moving. I want to see some head movement. I want to see catching punches. I want to see slipping. You know, I want to see everything. You know, and when people just stand in front of each other, you know, as your coach, I tell you, go back out there and do that shit this round. I'm gonna throw in a fucking towel.
See, you know, I appreciate both styles, man. Like when I think about stuff like that, I think about the Max Holloway and Ricardo Lamas fight, where Max Holloway used his technique throughout the fight and was piecing Ricardo Lamas up. And then like the last, what is it, 15, 20 seconds of the fight, Max just stood in the middle of the octagon and said, all right, let's do it. And then both guys just bit down on their mouthpiece and just started swinging. And even then, Max was still connecting and almost knocked Ricardo Lamas out. So I appreciate both styles, man. Like I said, I like fighters. I like guys who, if they weren't fighting, they'd probably have a record for assault. You know, like the Eddie Alvarez's and Justin Gaethje's, and I believe Dustin Poirier falls in that too, the Nate Diaz's. I like fighters. So I appreciate great technique, but I love fighters, man.
Yeah, agreed. Is Tank in here? Oh no, that's Centos. Okay, Centos, where you at?
I'm here, bro. I just got back. I got a cousin that called me. I had to chop it up with him for a minute, and I was gonna take me a little power nap a minute ago, man, but y'all kind of rejuvenated me. But now I feel like I'm getting sleep again. But I'm playing in the back, playing my position like a shortstop, picking up everything. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
Man, I
hey,
wish
Tank,
I
hop on the panel. Tank, hop on the panel, man.
I wish I had been able to see Clarissa's fight live, man. But I think I'm gonna enjoy it just as much when I watch the playback on it, you know. But I saw the highlights and I caught her post fight interview. I'm very proud of her, very happy for her, and I just think she needs all the love and support she can get from her community as well as her fans.
Yes, sir. Agreed. Yeah, so Eli said after y'all finished talking about this card, can y'all tell us what you thought about the Aloman and Bubba Jenkins wins tonight? I didn't watch those because I was actually getting ready for the interview with Coach Cam at the barbershop, and which obviously didn't happen all the way. So I was going to watch it after the shop, and since we came right over here, I didn't get a chance to see it yet, but I already sent him a message to Bubba and also to Coach Coop. Told him congratulations, but I didn't get a chance to see. Didn't get a chance to see it yet. Did you check it out already, DJ?
Yeah. Bubba Jenkins looked real good, man. He used his superior wrestling skills in the LeMaine fight. I mean, basically, he just imposed his will with the wrestling. He landed some good ground and pound and controlled the fight throughout. I thought he won the fight easy, in my opinion. But like I said, you guys have to go back and watch that fight. But yeah, I thought he won the fight pretty easily. Another fight on this card, you got Paul Craig and Jamal Hill. Now, Jamal Hill is the hot young pro. I'm ready for that as well, man. Paul Craig is known for his grappling, but he's been known to take a seat in a few fights. And Jamal Hill hits hard. I think he's finished like his last 3 opponents. He's another one of these Dana White Contender Series guys. Yeah, man, he's a hot young prospect sitting at 8-0, coming up in the division. A lot of guys, you know, when you're black and you're coming up in that division, a lot of guys like to compare you to John Jones, but I think he's his own man. I think he hits a lot harder than John Jones ever did. He's still raw in the sport, but he's a superior athlete who's developing in the sport, and I can't wait to see this guy put on a show this Saturday. I think he knocks Paul Craig out as well, but if Paul Craig gets a hold of him, I want to see how good his grappling skills are.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you just said. Jamal Hill is one of my top 5 prospects from last year coming into 2021. Yeah, the dude he got dog in him. You know, he's a mean dude. He's not the type of dude to laugh and clown around and joke. He's one of those guys in your gym. If you're not one of the 2 or 3 people that he's close with, then he's not clowning around with you. You know, he wants to train with who he wants to train with. He wants to listen in. He wants to come in and do his work. He'll sit quietly while he wrap his hands, do his business, and then get out of there and go home. He's not trying to go have sushi with everybody after training and talk around and fuck around. You know, he's a serious dude and he wants to fight. So, man, I love his style. And, yeah, I think he's going to go in there and hopefully he'll get an early finish. I think that's what may happen. I don't think it's going to be a drag-out war. But Paul Craig's one of those dudes. Yeah, he just reminds me of a type of dude that'll try to pretend like he's super cool with you, but as soon as he's in his element with his people, he'd be calling you a boy, and you know, yeah, you know the other word that start with N. Yeah, he just strikes me as one of those guys. By the way,
he's Scottish, so I wouldn't expect nothing different.
True. I also want to bring this to everybody's attention too. I think my brother Tank just came in too. Salute to my brother Tank. Marvin Vettori ran across Israel Adesanya before the presser, I believe, or at the fighter arrivals at the hotel or whatever, and they ran across each other, and he said something to Israel, and he said, "Yeah, my friend." Israel said, "I'm not your friend." So the following day, Marvin Vettori, which was today, Marvin Vettori walked past while Israel was doing an interview, I believe. He said, since I'm not your friend, I'm going to call you either bitch or I'll call you boy. And immediately I went to the comment section. I didn't even finish watching it. I just immediately went to the comment section of that post, and I wanted to see what people said. And to my surprise, you know, there were some white people like, "Hey, man, listen, you you don't call a black man boy. You know, you can't get away with that, and you can't use the excuse of, oh, in Italy they don't have that sort of racism." Man, my kickboxing coach is from Italy, okay, and they know a whole lot about racism. So, fuck Marvin Vettori, and it's going to be a joy to watch him get put to sleep.
Yeah, man, that's one of them words that I don't play around with. I've gotten into some trouble before for slapping people who thought they could, you know, just throw that word out there. My grandmother always taught me, and my uncles always taught me growing up, you don't ever let nobody call you boy. So if anybody ever said it, you know, they got a swift slap to the face, like, "Hey, watch your mouth." You know, I'm not one of these guys to play with. So that's just one of them words that you don't play with. That's one of what I call trigger words. Got to get you smacked real quick. You know, I don't mind taking the charge for that. You know, you will not disrespect me in that way. I'm a grown man. You will refer to me as such. And if you can't, then, you know, we're going to have an issue. So that's why I was, man, I hope Izzy sleeps this dude, man. I got him starching him easy. That's right. in second round KO, no TKO. The ref's not going to pull him off. I think he's going to be on the ground twitching.
Tank.
Yo, what it do?
Man, we need your assessment, man. We got to start from the beginning, man. We got to get your thoughts on the Izzy fight, also the Leon Edwards and Nate Diaz fight.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna try to be kind of quick for me, I guess, anyway, because my phone is low battery and my laptop, I forgot that I didn't charge it up. So, and when I'm on my phone and I have it plugged into the charger, it doesn't, like, y'all know, it don't charge like it's supposed to. You know what I mean? At the rate that it's supposed to.
You can use my charger, but what kind of phone do you have? Is it Android or
Yeah, I got the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.
Okay, so you got the same one I got. So one of my phones is that one. So let me tell you how to do it. Turn off all of your all of the apps. Just close all of the apps. And when the phone's plugged in, I know this sounds crazy. Put an ice pack or something cold from the freezer on top of your phone.
Shit, it don't even get hot though. But you know what? Okay, I see what you're saying. It is warm at the bottom. But
yeah, the
apps is already off.
I
already got all the apps off because I keep it on that little what do you call that?
Sleep
battery
mode.
saver or whatnot.
Yeah.
Battery saver feature that I got in there.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, so
battery saver. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, something like that. With these new phones, so this is like the first like super phone, I guess they call it. These phones that I got. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, with Izzy, it's crazy. When DB was just talking about the boy comment, I wanted to touch on that real quick because I'm listening to it, and the only thing I wanted to say real quick was that's why I don't like when people fixate on just the N word in terms of trying to get rid of the N word, because there's so many other words out here that are used in the same exact way, whether it's boy, spook, you know what I mean, jig, coon, there's so many other different
moon cricket
words out here that are used, and we'll start going through the entire dictionary because they'll continue to either bring back old words that they've always used or use new ones. So, that's my thing on that. Just know your history. Know, be aware of the racial insensitivity that exists, and don't plead ignorance. Right? When you break a law in the United States, they tell you that ignorance of the law is not an excuse to break the law. Right? So it should be that same kind of rule in that regard. But anyways, as far as the fight, I'm going with Israel. As far as the Leon Edwards fight, that was the one that I'm really interested in because as far as I'm concerned, Israel's already on top of the world, and he already has his spot, so to speak, and he, even with a loss, is not going to lose that spot. Now, I don't expect him to lose by any means. I'm just making that as a point of reference. Whereas Leon Edwards, he is kind of looked upon in an unfair light, in my opinion. And Leon Edwards, I'm looking at it as a fight where he needs to win this fight. I don't care if it's in impressive fashion or not, but he needs to win this fight versus Nate Diaz so that he can continue to ascend to the level that he deserves to be at. Right? You have one guy who is at the level that he deserves to be at in Izzy, and he's going to be there. But then you have a fighter in Leon who is looked upon as by some people as, I don't know, but those of us who like martial arts know that he's a good fighter. He's a well-rounded fighter. He has a lot of different he has a lot of range as a fighter. He's not one sided. You can't just go in there and be like, well, the game plan is to do this or do that. He can stand up. He can kick. He can wrestle. He can do a lot of different things. Now there are other aspects of his game that are stronger than others. Um, and, and when you're dealing with Nate Diaz, who's a veteran of just being, as I forgot who was bringing it up earlier, but he's a veteran of being in the moment in big fights. This is a fighter who is going to use everything, including the mental aspect. He's going to use the psychology and try to get in Leon Edwards' mind and try to take him out of his physical talents. So it's going to be up to Edwards to overcome that, and I think he will. But I'm interested in seeing if he will, because it don't matter what I think; it matters what happens once the fight starts.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, there's also a fight that we didn't talk about, and that's Bilal Muhammad against Damian Maia. You have a wrestler versus one of the jiu-jitsu gods, jiu-jitsu MMA gods, or MMA jiu-jitsu gods. There you go. We didn't talk about that, and I believe Damian Maia said that this is his last fight, or it may be his last fight if he loses. But either way, what do you guys think about that matchup right there? Bilal Muhammad just coming off of that no contest to Leon Edwards, where he was getting beat up and then got poked in that accidental eye poke.
I think he. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, man. I mean, everybody knows that there's only one way Damian Maia can win this fight, and that's to get you on the ground, and drag you into deep waters and drown you. But yet nobody, there's been a lot of people who weren't able to stop that. Everybody knows that Damian Maia doesn't have the best striking in the world. But he's one of the last guys, what you would call a specialist. Like, he's great at one thing. He's subpar a lot at everything else, but he's great at one thing. He has good wrestling, great jiu-jitsu. Like DB said, he's a jiu-jitsu god. So if he's able to get a hold of Bilal Muhammad and drag him to the ground, I don't see Bilal being able to get out of those positions, because we all know that wrestlers don't like being on their back, and they don't like having people on their back. So, if Damian Maia is able to get this fight to the ground, I see Damian Maia, adding to his legacy and adding another scalp on his wall as far as submissions go. But if Bilal Muhammad is able to keep this fight on the feet with his he has decent boxing. I think he has decent enough boxing to keep Damian Maia off of him. But everybody knows Damian Maia is going to wing a few punches just to get in close to you and grab a hold of you so he can drag you down and drown you. So with that being said, I expect Bilal Muhammad to find some way to keep this fight standing, or if he does go down, find a way to get back up quick. Do not engage in the grappling whatsoever, because you're fighting a losing battle. As great as King Kamaru Usman is, a lot of people hold on to that. Well, Damian Maia had his back and had one hook in, so we never know what could have happened if the ref didn't pull him off of him. So that just goes to speak at how great Damian Maia's jiu-jitsu is. But I expect Bilal Muhammad to win this fight.
Yeah, before Tank go, I just want to say that Damian Maia has had a few losses. I know he went on his skid where he lost 3 fights in a row. But let's put those fights in perspective. And I'm pretty sure you guys can appreciate this. He lost to Kamaru Usman, the welterweight GOAT. He lost to Tyron Woodley, who was the champion at the time. And that was a title fight. And Tyron Woodley is one of the top 5 welterweights of all time. And then he also lost to the number 1 ranked welterweight and interim champion in Kobe Covington. So when that skid happened, so he basically lost to the top 3 guys in the welterweight division. And then, he came back after that, beat Lyman Good. He beat Anthony Rocco Martin. And he also put Ben Askren to sleep. So Listen, me and my family always joke around that that's our cousin. You know what I mean? And man, I hope my cousin Damian Maya Del Negro or Damian Maya Estrada can go out there and pull it out. And I would love to see him go out there and have a great fight, get a submission, and then retire with a good win. Tank.
Yeah, I think that whenever you start hearing combat sports athletes talking about retirement, at least with me, it gives me cause to pause. When they can see that tunnel at or the light at the end of the tunnel, and they know that they have a feel that their careers is coming to an end. That lets me know that they are not interested in the grind of the preparation period that takes place before these fights take place, and so that always gives me cause to pause. Bilal has, well, I'll say he seemingly has a goal in mind. He wants a rematch with Leon Edwards. So when you have a fighter who has a goal in mind, or unfinished business, as they call it, versus a fighter who is seeing the end of the tunnel, I side towards that fighter who has unfinished business, even though the fighter that sees the end of the tunnel has extreme skills at what they do. And I think that is going to come down to, if in the fight there's a moment of decision making where you have to decide, you know what, do I really want this to continue this? Get out of this hold, or bite down and grind through this round, or this how do you call it? Do I got to grind through this exhaustion period that I'm having right now, or whatever the challenge may be at the time? It's going to come down to that person saying, yes, I'm going to continue. I still have enough in the tank. I still have enough fighting spirit to continue. So these fights are always iffy, because you never know when that person that sees the end near, if they're going to put on one last show on their way out. So like DB said, they're hoping that he can get a submission or pull it out and then right off in the sunset. But it takes a certain type of situation and person to be able to do that for their towards the end of their career. So I think that this bout is going to be intriguing because of that. I don't have like all this super confidence in Bilal Muhammad. I'm just looking at it from that perspective, psychologically, where you have a fighter who has unfinished business with somebody else, and they know that the fighter in front of them is in the way of that taking place, versus a fighter who is like, man, if I can't get past this guy, I'm out. Or if I can't get past this opponent, then ain't no need of me doing it anymore. So it's intriguing, and I look forward to seeing what happens when they get in there. Hopefully he don't get poked in the eye again.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate. DB, two other great fights on it. Man, this card is just straight fuego, man. I mean, you got Drew Dober and Brad Riddell. You got your boy Eric Anders, Roll Tide, facing against the dentist Darren Stewart. These are two fights with four guys who, as the great Josh Thompson would say, have dogs in their hands. Like, I believe out of these two fights, somebody's going to sleep in both fights. Brad Riddell, who's a stablemate of the middleweight king, Israel Adesanya. He's training out there with that stable with Dan Hooker and Alexander Volkanovski, who's the 145-pound featherweight champion. So he's got great guys in his camp, man, and he's facing a guy in Drew Dober who's just a tough, just gritty grimy fighter, man. That fight, man. That's gonna be a great fight. Then you got another middleweight fight between Darren Stewart and Eric Anders, man. This is, oh man, just throw all the technique out the window with these two guys, man. I believe both guys are gonna step on the gas and try to get each other out of there, man. What y'all think about those two fights?
Yeah, man. This card is crazy,
Fuego,
crazy.
Man. Oh man.
Yeah, this is crazy. I think the Darren Stewart, that's a rematch. That's a rematch from a no contest that just happened recently. And yeah, like you said, man, this is one of those occasions where, I know that these guys can fight, but yeah, throw the technique out of the window. Those guys are gonna try to finish each other. And yeah, I'm pumped up about this card, man. I feel like a little kid. I'm like excited and shit. You know what I'm saying? Staying up late night to watch WrestleMania and shit. And then what's the other fight?
Brad Riddell and Drew Dober.
Oh man! Now these are two technical strikers. These guys have great technique. I don't think that either, and they both they're solid on the ground, like they're decent. But these guys are going to have a kickboxing match. And for the people who don't want to see a whole lot of grappling, this is probably one of those fights too, man. The prelims are fire. These prelims could actually be a fight night card, like main card.
Facts.
With Mean Hakeem, and it's fire, man. It's fire. But go ahead, Big Tank.
Yeah, I think the same thing. The card is awesome. Every single style that you think you're gonna be able to see is gonna be fan friendly for the people who don't want to see certain things, like DB just said. You want to see a hand to hand, knockdown, drag out fight. If you want to see some technique, you're gonna have a little bit of everything on this card. If you want to see some just some good groundwork, that's what starts to separate these boxing cards from the mixed martial arts cards in terms of the matchmakers, because the matchmakers obviously had in mind, okay, listen, we're going to match up these different styles and we're going to have these guys go at it. Who doesn't want to see the rematch? Who doesn't want to see these styles go at it? It seems like they're thinking more about their fan base rather as opposed to just getting guys dates to fight. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like DB, man. I'm just looking forward to it. I know I'm being quick, but I'm over here looking at my my power dwindle down. What's up, H Money? H Money in the building.
Yo, what's good? What's good? Shout out to everybody on the panel. My brother Sento. What's good? DB. What's good? My brother Tank. DJ, man. Hey, Clarissa Shields. She's a legend. She's one of the greatest fighters that I've ever seen, man. She make history every time she step in the ring. 2-time undisputed champion, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, pound for pound. And guess what? She did something, even Floyd Mayweather wouldn't do. And that's step in that octagon. And she was successful. So I'm proud of her, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to Clarissa Shields. And yeah, man, H Money, man, I'm on my Andre Ward shit right now. So, I like to keep it professional like the late, great Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to Kobe. You feel me? But hey, I can't wait for that Fury work, though. Fury and Wilder, man, that shit gonna be off the chain, man. I can't wait. And I got breaking news. Bob Arum said Teofimo Lopez, he won't be fighting Devin Haney. So he just did the interview. He said they don't want that. So I guess Devin Haney got to do what he got to do, and that's keep getting better like Andre Ward did. So I'm proud of Devin Haney, and let's keep this thing going.
Hey, what's the other part though? H Money, he said that Loma might be able to get the fight though versus
he said Loma
versus Devin Haney. Yeah, Loma might be able to get the fight though. But anyway,
Loma about to get stopped by Nakatani, so that's going to take him off the chessboard.
If he doesn't lose to Nakatani, yes. Bob Arum has December 11th in New York already. They are looking at that fight date and venue, right? H Money.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great fight. But he also said that Teofimo Lopez, he might fight Lomachenko in a rematch, or he might move up. So, I mean, whoever Devin Haney fight, he gonna get paid a lot of money. So, Eddie Hearn and them, they paying him a lot of money. Bill Haney, he doing a great job. I think Devin Haney gonna keep getting better. So, the longer they wait to fight him, it is gonna be a problem, man. He gonna be a problem for anybody. Devin Haney, he got the type of style that can give any fighter a lot of problems, man. Trust me.
What you think about the Israel Adesanya fight?
Yeah, that's a great fight right there. I want to see if he can bounce back. Sometimes fighters take a loss and they not the same. So I know he took a loss before in kickboxing, and I just want to see, man, did it hurt his ego? Because he been in some close fights in the middleweight division, with Yoel Romero, also with Kevin Gastelum. He been in some wars. So we got to see how he bounce back. I'm rooting for him, though. I pick him to win, but I got to see what's going on.
Cool.
Yes, sir. I agree. I just think that he has a spot already. You know what I mean? He's one of those fighters that he could afford a loss, especially in MMA.
Yeah, he's pretty much almost cleaned out that entire division, man. So
right.
I think Marvin Vettori is one of the only guys left that he hadn't fought, along with I'm looking forward to see if Kevin Holland will bounce back and how he bounces back now that he's out there. DB, have you seen that? He's out there training with AKA now, training on his wrestling.
He back home in Cali with his family. Yes, indeed.
So I want to see how he looks in his next fight, man. Now that he's working on his wrestling, we already know he has good jiu-jitsu. So
what's up with Leon Edwards though? Can Leon Edwards get some of that work though? I think that's a great fight, and he's on the undercard.
No. Leon not on the undercard. Leon's on the main card.
Oh, for real? He's okay.
Yeah, that's the co-main.
I think he's a good fighter, DB. What you think about Adesanya versus Leon Edwards?
Oh no, Adesanya. You mean Kamaru Usman?
Oh
yeah, it's a different weight class.
Oh, okay,
different weight classes, bro.
Oh my bad.
Yeah. Listen, at this stage. Yeah, but at this stage, in terms of the welterweight division, I don't see any welterweights being able to beat Kamaru Usman right now. So I see some people giving him tough fights. I see people being more competitive than the other fighter, but I don't see anybody beating him. And just so we can close out before Tank's phone finishes, I think that the aftermath of this card right here, and this is what I probably think would happen, or something like what I want to see. I know that they're going to throw Khamzat Chimaev in the mix somewhere, and I would like to see him fight against either Michael Chiesa. I know you had a fight too, DJ, that you talked about, but I would also like to see him probably get in there and fight against a veteran who just came back off of a long stint, being gone for about 2 years, came back and just had a good victory last week, and that's in Ponzinibbio. So that might be another good fight for Khamzat Chimaev. Yeah,
boy.
Yes. Yeah. And then for Nate, I believe Nate either win or lose. I think two big fights for Nate that would be good would be either a Gilbert Burns or Stephen Thompson. I know they getting ready to throw down, but one guy shoots up and probably fights against somebody else. But I think either one of those fights are great for Nate. If it's Stephen Thompson, because he's not going to try to take Nate down, so they'll just have a good boxing and kickboxing match. If it's Gilbert Burns, they both have the same style. They either box or they do, they grapple. And, I think that's another good fight, like an evenly matched fight. Let's see. And then also for Leon Edwards, if Leon Edwards was to lose this fight, I think that there's a good fight for him. As a matter of fact, even if he wins the fight, but they don't give him a title shot, there is somebody that he's been looking forward to. And there was a guy who gave him a cheap shot backstage at a
I was getting that, waiting for that.
Yeah, yes. That fight should have been happening.
Man, that fight should have been happening.
I got Leon Edwards.
Yeah.
Hey, Leon Edwards is nice, man. I think Leon Edwards deserves a title shot if he can beat Diaz, against Usman. Let's run the fade. I like that fight.
You mean run it back?
Absolutely.
Oh, they fought already?
Yeah. They fought
like
fight, what was it, 4 or 5 years ago, I want to say?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight. I mean, that's just me personally, you know what I'm saying? I thought it was a good fight for
both
fighters. But Usman edged him out, you know what I'm saying? He's a different kind of a breed. And but Leon wasn't able to do what Leon does. He didn't look comfortable being himself in that fight. Some of that credit you have to give to Kamaru Usman, but you never know what's going on behind the scenes with fighters. But yeah, I would love to see these fighters go at it again. Why not? Why not have them get their second fight or third fight? You know what I'm saying? That they can come up with some good performances amongst them. I want to see it because Edwards can fight, Usman can fight, and I don't see too much competition out there for Usman if it's not going to be, a fighter with the skill set that Edwards possesses. You know what I'm saying? He just got to come in there with the confidence and belief in himself and being able to do what he can do. Like DB was saying, it's not a matter of losing for Usman at this point. I mean, I can see anybody lose in the MMA. You know what I'm saying? But it's the competitiveness, and some of his fights lately haven't been competitive since he fought Edwards. Really, you know what I mean?
The fight with the guy from Oregon, man, that was a competitive fight. But
who's that?
Kobe Covington. I don't really like to say his name, but that was a competitive fight.
That was a good fight. Yeah.
That was a competitive fight. But make no mistake about it. Like Kamaru said, he's making his way around the track for a second time. He's already beaten all these guys. He's already cleaned out the division. So the only thing left for him, I say in the top 5 or 6, is just rematches. The only guy out of the top 5 or 6 that he hadn't fought is Stephen Wonderboy Thompson.
And that has to happen. Oh, that has to happen. But what y'all think about Kobe Trump comments about Usman and Edwards? We're really he's talking crazy about Usman right now. But
Kobe's a jackass.
What did he say?
It's plain
he's just talking crazy, man. He's just talking crazy. Like he's pretty much insinuating that he think he won that fight, but I seen an interview with him where he's just talking crazy about Usman and saying that he's gonna beat him the next go around. It's not gonna be as close, so that I'm saying this so he don't want to get robbed in the rematch, and he's gonna bring the belt back home to Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's why I called him Trump.
He said that was a fake stoppage. The stoppage was early. No, he dropped you twice.
He trying to insinuate that he got robbed.
Pulling Kamaru off of you, and this is after he broke your jaw. So let's not make no mistake about that. Kamaru Usman broke your jaw, dropped you twice, and stopped you in that fight. So quit making up these excuses, saying that it was an early stoppage and he had fake nut shots. He kept calling fake nut shots, trying to get timeout. He's even accused King Kamaru Usman of taking PEDs, man. So this is crazy, man.
That's one of those situations where somebody says something and they want to say it enough times to start making some people believe it. And since there's this race element that exists in combat sports and crazy in MMA, well, mostly in the UFC, you get these radical fans and they'll hear it and then they'll start to repeat it, and they'll repeat it loud enough and long enough to where other people just start to follow as sheep, and then they'll start to say it.
Great point.
I mean, listen, George, what's his name? George St. Pierre was on a big time winning streak, and he was doing pretty good. I won't say he was annihilating. He was winning by points with the lay and pray. But, when USADA came around, he left. USADA came around, he disappeared.
Yeah.
You understand? He had one fight under USADA, and that was against Johnny Hendricks, and he got his face beat up. And I see L Dog there, and he was saying George St. Pierre, the GOAT. Well, listen, I mean, you can say that. I can't tell you can't have an opinion, but I'll tell you one thing. Kamaru Usman has more wins at welterweight than George St. Pierre does now. His winning streak is crazy. Sometimes it's about timing and it's about opportunity. And I'm going to just make a boxing reference for a second. Loma came in and was given a title shot after one fight. So a second fight, he was already fighting for a title. So George St. Pierre had the same thing happen. I think it was either his second or third fight where he was already fighting for a title. If the same thing happened for Kamaru Usman, then the title defenses would be just about the same thing. Or as a matter of fact, Usman may have one or two more. So if you're only looking at title defenses as the only way of considering, of telling who's the GOAT and not, yeah, then you have your choice who you say it is. But I'll ask you this: does George St. Pierre have wins knocking people out cold against the top competition? Was the competition the same? I'd beg to differ. So right now, Kamaru Usman is much more devastating. He's winning by dominating guys with his wrestling. He has the best takedown defense in the history of the UFC, especially in the welterweight division. He has 100% takedown defense. His takedown accuracy is higher than George St. Pierre's is. So listen, I know sometimes you guys listen to Joe Rogan and to Dana White, and whatever they say, people become parakeets and sheep, and they just keep repeating the same shit that they hear from those guys. But if you pay attention to the fights and you also look at the stats, I think you'd have a different answer. You go, oh man, you know what? This guy, Kamaru Usman, yeah, he's greater than what I thought he was. And sometimes we don't like to give credit and respect to people when they're right there in our face, but after they're either retired or sometimes after people are deceased. This man is phenomenal, and he is the GOAT, and he commands his credit and his respect today. Mir, you had a question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go on a tangent, but Mir asked also about Thug Rose and what's next for her. Carla Esparza just came off a crazy win. Oh, never mind. I just see you got it in the chat. Carla Esparza just came off of a crazy victory, man, smashing. And that may be one of the fights, but I think what they'll probably do is they'll probably run a rematch back with the Zhang Wei Li.
Isn't Carla on like a 5-fight win streak though?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, man. So, and then she beat Rose a few years ago, man, to be the first strawweight champion in the UFC. So that's an intriguing rematch, man. Seeing them come full circle in their careers now that Rose is the 2-time champion and Carla being a former champion who actually has a win over Thug Rose. So that would be an intriguing fight. But like you said, they may run it back with Zhang Wei Li. It'd be exciting to see either one of those fights, man. I'd like to see either one of them. But I have a question for you, DB, and the rest of the panel.
Yes, sir.
I look at it like this. To me, you go back to the Pride days, like I do. I go back to the Pride days, and you remember that heavyweight or middleweight division when everybody was extra saucy. And if not everybody, at least 95% of the roster was extra saucy when they didn't drug test.
Absolutely.
Do you think it was more impressive to win back then when everybody was on the shit, or now when everybody's clean?
Whew. Wow.
See, that's why I hold Fedor in such a high regard, because even though he was on the shit, so was everybody else. And he was still going out there mauling people. So I hold him in very high regard, even though when people like to bring up, well, that was pre-USADA. Well, everybody was on it, and he was still mauling people. So, what's the excuse with that? So, when you bring up that with George St. Pierre and how he looked pre and post USADA, that's why it's been so impressive with John Jones. Because John Jones did it pre and post USADA. He's still winning fights pre and post USADA. So that's really my question. Do you think it was more impressive to win when everybody was on the sauce, or now that everybody's clean?
I personally don't care. This is how I look at it. I'm not looking at that anyway. I'm looking at what it is that you do as a specialty. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm looking at your style, and I'm looking at how you maximize your talent and your ability and your and maximize what you're doing. I don't look at it like the way. That's why often I don't get on like certain panels because people want to hear you say, well, Devin Haney has to win by knockout. No, he don't. He got to win the way he went. Devin Haney got to dominate the way Devin Haney dominates. You know what I mean?
Fight your
Rampage
fight.
Jackson. Rampage Jackson got to dominate the way Rampage dominates. Chuck Liddell got to dominate the way Chuck Liddell does. He don't have to be able to do what this other guy does. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at it like that. I look at it from that perspective, and I think that it's up to the individual watching to determine that everybody's different. Like they want to talk about, well, Ken Griffey was clean, as he never tested dirty for nothing that we know of, right?
Yeah.
So as far as we know, he's clean. As far as he knows, he's clean. But a lot of these guys have nutritionists and bring in specialists, and they pop dirty because they were given stuff. And I love the narrative. Well, they're supposed to know what is going into their body. Really? How many people that that have nutritionists? They don't know each and every single thing that's going in them. They're athletes. They're there to train. They're there to make sure that they get their batting practices in. And I'm not saying that there's guys that don't know. Look, we're gonna give you a competitive advantage. This is gonna help you with this, and that. I'm not saying that doesn't exist. I'm saying that you can't apply that to every single body is all I'm saying. And so when you look at guys like they'll take away, they were like, well, Barry Bonds, right? They'll say Barry Bonds did this, and then they'll come out that what's the famous pitcher's name that got popped? That was
Roger Clemens.
Then you have Roger Clemens come out, right? And then you be like, well, what's worse, the batter that's on the stuff or the pitcher that's on the stuff? It just matter of, well, do you like hitting or pitching? You understand what I'm saying?
Right, and that's why I don't pay attention. And when it comes to baseball on that front, that's why I don't pay attention to the quote unquote steroid era. I don't think these guys need to have an asterisk next to their name in the Hall of Fame because
everybody was doing it.
Everybody was on it. Everybody was on it.
That's why I use that correlation.
Yeah. I felt where you were going with that.
It sounded similar, yeah.
Yeah. So I felt where you were going with that. But like I said, I just, it's something to be said about that too. Well, yeah, USADA this, USADA that. Well, pre-USADA, everybody was on it. Everybody was on something. They might not have popped dirty, but everybody was on something. So I think it's impressive both ways. I think it's impressive what Kamaru Usman is doing now, how he's just straight mauling people, and now he's knocking people out. He's actually getting better. But I also thought it was impressive when Fedor was mauling people when everybody was on the shit. So I hold both eras in high regard.
Yeah. Real quick, man, shout out to Ken Griffey Jr., man. That was an old throwback by Tank. But I also want to say that Clayton Kershaw, Sandy Koufax, Don Drysdale, Oral Hershiser, Fernando Valenzuela, none of them ever tested positive. I'm just saying. Yeah.
I don't think Reggie Jackson did either. That was my favorite growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ken Griffey was my favorite growing up. Him and Fred McGriff, those were my two favorites.
I grew up on in that Reggie Jackson, Nolan Ryan era.
Yeah.
I grew up on the Dodgers. You know what I'm saying?
I was about to say, most of the guys you just named were Dodgers.
Yeah, you know,
Dodgers.
I wasn't much for Brooklyn teams. I wasn't too much into the New York stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was
Tank clouded. Oh man. But anyway, man, I made that point because there's always somebody, man, when I state everything that I stated about Kamaru Usman, I know how sometimes we throw around the word facts, but everything that I stated about Kamaru Usman was absolutely a fact.
Yeah.
Facts. You know what I mean? Yeah. So when somebody starts looking at it and they just say George St. Pierre just because they're parroting the same narrative that they heard somebody else say, and they're just regurgitating, and I don't want to say it's bullshit, but they're just regurgitating information. Man, go back and look at the books and then come back and then have a conversation later. Just saying GSP just because you hear Chael Sonnen and two other mayonnaise, two other people say it.
Hey, DB is right.
Yeah, Chael Sonnen ain't got a hating bone in his body, does he?
You know what, DB? I'm glad you said that because a lot of people do those parroting sound bites because they are repeating what somebody else thinks. That's their opinion. But just because they say it all the time, and then somebody that's on TV or on the podcast with them try to challenge it, and then they're louder or they're more boisterous and they start throwing out their opinion, that doesn't mean that you have to have the same opinion as them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just start, and you can tell because they'll start using their exact sound bites to defend your position when you can be like, wait a minute, that's exactly what Joe Rogan said. Because I often hear, whether it's him or it's somebody else, you can tell where the stuff is coming from if you listen to everybody speak. You'd be like, you're just repeating what Skip Bayless says. You just repeating what Stephen A. Smith said or Max Kellerman or somebody else. Where's your opinion at, and what is it based upon? Don't just throw out St. Pierre and then you don't have any new or different perspectives as to why outside of what's being already said by the masses, because it sounds like you're just repeating what they're saying.
You know what I started watching fights with the sound off? It was after that John Jones Alexander Gustafsson fight, because if you listen to the commentary in that fight, you wouldn't think that John Jones won that fight. It's like, oh man, he's taking John down. He's doing this. He's doing that. It's like, no, he's getting elbowed in the face. What are you talking about? I see him getting elbowed in the face. I see him getting head kicked. What are y'all talking about? So, I mean, not that those guys don't do a great job. Like, I love when DC and Dominic Cruz are on the panel, and I love when Joe Rogan with his fan excitement is on the panel. I like those guys, man. I listen to them on the replay, but when the fights are live, I watch all the fights on mute, man. I want to be able to make my own assessment of the fights.
Yo, what's up with them fights tomorrow night on the Bellator? I see they got
we didn't even get to the Bellator card.
Yeah, you got Douglas Lima fighting, I think, an undefeated fighter, the man that beat Logan Storley. Now, Logan Storley was a motherfucker until he ran into this dude, man. So I think it's gonna be a great fight.
Oh, let me pull up that card real quick, because I think you're talking about Armasov, man. He's one of those Russians. He's not great at one thing, but he does everything really, really good. He's really technical. He doesn't do one thing great. He does everything good, and he's never going to be one of those guys who are out of position. He's never going to be one of those guys that just bites down on his mouthpiece and just starts swinging leather. But he's a very technical striker. He mixes up his takedowns really well. He has good submissions. He has good grappling, good striking. He does everything good. But Douglas Lima is the second greatest welterweight in the world, behind Kamaru Usman.
He's coming off a loss.
Who?
Douglas Lima. Ain't he coming off a loss?
I don't think so. If it was up in a division up.
Musasi, I think.
Hold on, let me pull it up. Make sure I'm right on that. Let me pull up his record.
But while y'all pulling that up, I definitely want to talk about the co-main event. The co-main event is a huge, huge fight. Two warriors, Paul Simtex Daly, and Jason Jackson, the Jamaican sensation. These dudes throw down, and definitely has the possibility of being the fight of the night. And I'm really excited about that, man. You have a Jamaican fighting out of Florida. And as a matter of fact, Jason Jackson is a former teammate of Kamaru Usman and those guys. And he's fighting out of the same gym as what's the big gym in Florida, DJ?
Is it you talking about Sanford or ATT?
No. ATT.
Yeah.
But he's fighting out of there, and so he's got a huge team. And Paul Daly, I mean, we know his resume. He's got about 65 MMA bouts. Also, he's got a couple of kickboxing and a couple of boxing matches on his resume too. But yeah, he's just a dog in there, man. And these dudes won't get down, and I believe they might steal the show.
Yeah, we all know if Paul Daly lands that left hook to the jaw, man, somebody's going to bed. So I mean, yeah, in H Money, you were correct. He did lose his last fight last October, but that was for the middleweight championship to Gegard Mousasi, who is a dog. He is a veteran of the sport. I think he has over 50 fights, I want to say. He comes from that Dutch kickboxing background. You know, he's one of those guys. He was highly successful in the UFC. He could never quite get that title shot, but he's been highly successful and been a champion in every promotion that he's been in besides the UFC. So Gegard Mousasi is really, really good, man. And that was just Douglas Lima daring to be great. Decided to jump up in weight, and it didn't work out for him. But his last 3 fights at welterweight, he beat Andrei Korshkov, who is a tough guy. Knocked out Michael Venom Page, who, if you're not a fan of Michael Venom Page, you're not a fan of MMA. And he also beat the veteran Rory McDonald, who's he's been around the block, but he's also a great fighter, man. So he's beaten some great guys, man. He's got a win over Paul Daly. He's got a win over Lorenz Larkin. So I mean, he's a great fighter, man. He's, like I said, he's the second greatest welterweight on the planet currently.
Yeah, shout out to Lorenz Larkin, man. Got to give it up for the home team.
Where is he been, man? I hadn't seen him fight in a while.
He did. He fought about 2 weeks ago.
Did he? I missed it.
Yeah.
God dang! I gotta go back and look at. Was it in Bellator?
No. He's not fighting. He wasn't fighting in Bellator.
Okay.
He's fighting LFA. But Aaron Pico also, speaking of the home team, Aaron Pico is getting down too. Aaron Pico is getting ready to fight against I think he's getting ready to fight against Aiden Lee or Aiden Lee. That's it. That's who he's getting ready to fight against. So
move and use your boxing and your wrestling, Aaron Pico. Do not stand in the pocket and try to trade. That has not worked out for you, sir.
Yeah, he got some power in his hands, but yeah, you're right. Definitely got to move.
Ooh, Taiwan Claxton's on this card. Stop it.
Yeah.
Nick Newell's on this card, the one-handed monster.
Yeah.
Oh,
Jackson.
Man.
Yeah.
Look, man, come on, man.
That shit lit. That shit is lit.
Oh, man. MMA showing out this weekend. I feel bad for Shakur.
but this is what MMA all these organizations made great moves, and let me tell you why. Because the UFC has already got Saturdays locked down. They've been doing it since forever, right? Pride, and then so UFC continued that tradition by doing it, and then Bellator said, okay, well we can just do it a non-compete, and we just have our events on Fridays, right? And then PFL said, okay, and we just do ours on Thursday. And LFA and ONE FC said, okay, well, we just do ours on Wednesdays at different times.
Yeah.
And so if you are a true fan of combat sport and mixed martial arts, man, you can appreciate from Wednesday through Saturday having something to watch and to talk about. And Clarissa got it cracking today first. And we got something tomorrow, man, with Bellator, and then Saturday with Izzy and the boys. So good stuff, man. Let's get out of here, man. Tank's phone's dying, and I got to get my reading done. And H Money got to go drop a video. You know, everybody got to get stuff done. But I appreciate y'all, man.
For sure. You already know.
Alarm clock going off, man.
Yeah, my bad. Hey, look, it's gonna be a great weekend. Shout out to everybody on the panel. You know, I mean, I be in the chat in the barbershop, but they blocked me, so it's all good though. I just want to tell the brothers, man, I'm always listening. You feel me? DB and DJ, of course, man. Much love.
Sir.
Yes,
much
indeed.
love, guys, man. It's been a lot of fun talking this talk with y'all, man. So I'm looking forward to these fights this weekend, and hopefully Sunday or Monday, or if we got to wait till next Thursday to talk about these fights again. I'm all for it, man. So looking forward to a great weekend of fights, man. Like I said, I feel bad for Shakur, man. It's a great weekend of fights, and he's stuck right in the middle.
Hey, you know what I thought about? Good stuff, fellas. But I thought about this, man. We can just add this to the end of a show, and we don't have to really do it. But I was thinking about a word of the day. And it could be something that has to do with combat sports, but not necessarily, but just the word of the day. We don't have to discuss it, but somebody gives a word of the day. And then after that, we just go and look at it and we don't even have to bring it back, but somebody just brings a word and we can all go and, and that's our vocabulary word for the day. And we do that every Thursday, man. And what, there's 52 weeks in the month. So we get 52 new words in our vocabulary. So I would like to do that if y'all think y'all cool with that.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm always looking forward to adding words to my vocabulary. Like the last one you gave me, diaspora. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna look that up. What does that mean?
Right on. But yeah, and this is something that's gonna take 10 seconds for us just to say this is the word of the day. We don't have to discuss it. If 5 people on the panel already knows what it is, we leave it at that. But then everybody get a chance to go home and do some studies. But because I don't want to say, oh, go read a chapter of this and we'll come back and talk about it. Because, listen, I know people don't want to or don't have time or don't like instructions, but I think a word would be something that's easy for us. And so, yeah, we could start doing that next Thursday. Something simple. You don't have to participate. And, yeah, that's it. But, man, let me go and let me go sit on my lazy boy chair, man, and pop this book open real quick, man, get my lessons in real quick. But I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, brothers, man. Be safe and holla at you.
All right, brother. You take it easy. Play the song, Cam.
Play the song. Let the beats build pitch, and we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it cheap. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No.